So, good evening. How is everybody? This is issue 56, and this is my co-host, Horlicks. How are you?
Hello, everyone. How is everyone this evening?
And of course, being issue 56, as we call it, the issue that's divisible by 4, we always have Dave Say with us.
Hi everyone. Hope you're all right.
So, what you been up to then, Dave, in the last 4 weeks?
Oh, quite a lot. We've been busy with Christine's build back here. You might be able to see it behind my shoulder here somewhere.
I have also seen
Um,
pictures on Facebook, and that just looks absolutely amazing.
we've been busy with my builds, and then we've been busy with hospitals and gardening and general bits and bobs here, there, and everywhere. You name it, we've done it.
Right, so I'll just quickly go through the chat, just do a bit of a quick catch up. So we have Daniel Simpson, Caldecott Bus Spotters, Fleetwood J, Horlicks and Love Minis has said hello. Cheryl says hi. Adrian Langley, hello Adrian. Roger Kendall, Chris Campling, Dave Milne, Cheryl, Andy M, Peter Whitlock, Cheryl. Chris Campling, Chris Davies, and Chris Campling, and Steve Hyson. So hello to everybody. So yeah, this is issue 56 of our build. And are you ready, Horlicks?
I am. Yeah,
Lovely.
it looks exciting, this one.
You know what? I was going to save this for later, but I'm going to bring it up now. Horlicks, where are your headphones?
Oh, they're shoved down the side there.
Now I'll tell you what, your little setup looks absolutely perfect. So you've got this new mic, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I think you look like a proper Radio 2 DJ.
Well, as you know, and most of you who watch my channel, I've filmed 2 issues, and I was really upset that when I finished, my headphones were on mute, and there was a good reason for it, but I didn't realise. And yeah, I thought, now enough's enough. I need to get something proper set up, because I don't want to do that again. So yeah, next week's issue for me isn't going to be very good, unfortunately. I won't be building anything, but you know, that's the end to it now. So
But it's funny, quite a few people have said to me in the past, what setup do I need to do a YouTube channel? And my answer has always been, go for what you've got. And then as you start to make videos, improve on the setup as you feel you need it.
yeah,
You've obviously now reached the stage where you think enough is enough. I need a new mic. So you've now improved your videos with the new mic. And then at some point in the future, you might decide. In fact, didn't you buy a new camera recently?
yeah, 1080p one, same as yours.
Yeah. So what you've done is you've just improved as you can, as your budget has allowed. You know, obviously, if we all had millions, we would go out and we would buy these fantastic studios. But I mean, looking back at my setup is probably 100 times better than when I first started streaming.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just, yeah. And yeah, I didn't think people were going to notice this quickly, but Chris Campling has spotted your lights.
Yeah, I did that this evening. They were actually attached to my computer desk, but I never really used them on there. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to rip them off, have a tidy up, and stick them on the shelf. I think it's a lot better because it lights everything up.
I think they're fab, but we were having a bit of a debate before the stream over what colour. And I said, well, maybe you could do red for when you're doing Routemasters videos and blue for the DeLorean. But you said that you didn't really like the red so much because it doesn't really show the Routemasters so much.
No, yeah, because if I put it on red, straight red, I don't know, it does show
I like the red because it's got a bit of a Routemasters feel to it. But like I said, it does hide the bus a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, originally I had them sort of about a teal colour, but we've decided to just pulse it through all the colours, and then it's good.
So feel free to comment on those lights, people. And I have a confession to make. I do apologise. Now, normally I say I'll open the build on the stream. I did something a little bit naughty. It's the first time I've ever done it, I promise you. And karma has come back to bite me on the bum. I was watching a YouTube video during the week, and this YouTuber was having a few little problems. So I actually had a look at the parts myself to see maybe I could help out. So I have opened my subscriber issue for this week and for next week. Now, the reason karma has bitten me on the bum is I could hide this fact, and but over Monday, I lost. I went to collect a parcel from the post office, used my debit card as ID, and stupidly left my debit card at the sorting office. So I cancelled my card on Monday. I hadn't received a new card this morning, so when I went to buy my when I went to the newsagents, I couldn't pay for them. I had the money, but I couldn't get to it because it was in the bank. So I haven't actually got my Routemaster this week. So I'm using my subscriber issue, which, as you can see, I've already opened. So if that disappoints you, I'm really sorry. But my defense is, or the defense that I'm claiming is that I opened them to try and help somebody. So if whether you accept that, I don't know.
No, it's fine. I mean, at least we've got a build today. That's the way I see it.
Well, yeah, exactly. So that's one of the great things about having subscriber issues. So,
and it could be worse. You could be doing this whole show in mute.
well, yeah. I mean. Sorry, I didn't.
I knew you were going to do something like that. I just want to say thank you, Chris, for the compliment. He says awesome lights. Yeah, do you know what? I really like them, and I don't know why I didn't do it months ago.
Well, you've done it now, and it's added something to your.
Oh, I know it's off subject, but just in case anyone's wondering, the end of the last stream, I was having issues with R2D2.
Ah, yes.
I just want to clarify. I had it in bits. Penny stayed up with me. We were on live stream for another half hour or so, trying to work out what was going on. I'm getting in a panic. I was convinced it was burning electrics inside. It turned out I was pushing the wrong button. Oh. The power button is the bottom one, isn't it? And yes. Those of you who've got this, I was banging the top button, thinking, why isn't it working? I had the whole thing apart, batteries out, because I can't sleep until I've sorted things out. And I realised my mistake, and I was just pushing the wrong button. That's all it was.
It's funny now, but not at the time.
Yeah, there's proof. He's moving now. It was just the wrong button. Unbelievable. I can't believe the mistake I made.
I mean, it's funny now, but I think it's hilarious. Now, well,
okay.
I didn't at the time, but okay. So, shall we do tonight's build, which is what we are allegedly here for?
Okay.
So again, a big thank you to Adrian Langley, who's very kindly scanned the pages in for us, so that we don't have to show you the magazine on the camera. So today we will be doing the first section of the lower deck ceiling. The first part of the lower. Sorry, that's your job, Horlicks. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the first part of the lower deck ceiling for the rear of the bus. Is supplied together with handrails and lights. Follow the instructions to assemble the parts. So I think we should do that.
Okay, let's go through the parts then.
Okay. So part A is the rear lower deck ceiling panel.
Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to show this in the orientation that they have on the magazine. They have been very, excuse me, very nice, and told us which is the front, which is the right, and which is the left. And do you want to read the box, or do you want me to take your job off you?
Yeah, I can do. Right. So it says, in the image above, which is what you're looking at now, the ceiling is viewed from below, as you would see it from inside the lower deck. We have labelled the edges for clarity.
So what they basically mean is, although they've put that this is the right, so this is the right-hand side, what's actually going to happen on the final build, it's going to be that side. So that'll be the right-hand side. This will be the rear, and this will be the front. But this is it's a piece of plastic. it feels like this side has been painted because it's got that slightly rough kind of a painted texture to it, whereas this is shiny bare plastic. This is obviously going to be hidden up, and I do like the little detail. I'm sorry, I've not set my camera up. Sorry, we'll have to sing interlude now. Jing jinga jinga interlude. Sorry, my camera is taking so long. There we go. Right. So I really should set this up before we start, I know. And I always forget. So if we have a focal point of about there. So you see there's a little sticker. It says 4 seats. And there's another one there. So I can only assume that this is going to go above the 4 seats that sit sideways. Normally the seats sit like that, don't they? But you've got 2 benches at the back. So, and that's all I can really tell you about this part. It's a good quality plastic, like all of the build. And I've forgotten to cut the bag open. So bear with me. So I'm so disorganized today, aren't I? I mean, it's very unlike me to be disorganized, isn't it? Right. So tipped all the parts out into a little tray. Oh, there we go. And obviously there might be parts in there that I can't spot. It looks empty to me, but I'll just fold it carefully and place it next to my bin just in case. So the next part then, Mr. H.
Okay, so B is 3 ceiling lamps.
So B, ceiling lamps, and I believe that's going to be these that I'm trying to describe these. Well, they're a tab with a little blob on them, really. Help me out here. What do they look like?
They look like the eyes of the Terminator.
They do actually, don't they? With little tabs on the side.
Yeah.
So there's 3 of those. So they look quite nice. They're a little bit see-through. That's all I can really tell you. Okay. So part C.
C is the left ceiling handrail.
Sorry, I just caught the tray. Right. So C is the left ceiling handrail. Right. There's 2 rails that look pretty much the same to me at this point. I've got to admit, I'm not 100% happy with that. It looks like there's a little cut on the side. Obviously, these have been made on a screw and cut off. But I might be able to hide that. Might be able to put it that way. Hopefully, I can put it that way. Yeah, Paul 61 has said nipples. Why am I not expecting any more than that off Paul?
Mind you, I was expecting that from Chris, to be honest.
Yeah. Richard Coppleston is saying that he doesn't remember handrails on the ceiling. Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine they'll put these on just because they fancy putting them on. Part D, so I'll just jump ahead, Horlicks. It's the same. It's a right handrail. At this particular moment in time, well, actually, they look the same. They do actually look the same to me at this point. You see you've got little rivety bits there. And no, they are different. Yeah, right. So the difference, as I say, I won't know until I actually build it. But on one side only, you've got a screw hole and a little locating peg. Probably can't see it, but there's a locating peg there. And on the other one, the locating peg is on the opposite side. So you cannot orientate these exactly the same way. So we won't know until we do the build. I suspect that if you put the wrong one in, it won't fit.
The bottom one you've got is C, which is the left ceiling one.
You're saying this one is C.
Yeah, and I can tell that from the actual picture in the mag. You can just about see the locating pin on the left.
Yeah, actually, I can tell from D. Can I ask you just to blow up D?
Yeah.
Part D. Right. So if you look on the left-hand side, yeah, where your mouse is now, you can see that locating peg just at the bottom. It's a little bit hard because obviously we've blown this up and then we lose quality. But this, this is the one. This is D because the locating peg is there. And this one,
And this is the left
I
one.
can't orientate it the same. I can only get the locating peg. So I'll put those like that so that C, D. I mean, we'll find out when we get to it. So the next part is
Okay, so
E.
56E, yep, is the handle.
The handle. And that is very nicely in a little, oh, sorry, I haven't got my camera view on. There we are. So that's in a little bag for us. And there's another part with it, which I assume is 56F. 56F.
Sorry, is a clip.
It's a clip, and that looks like the clip. Right, Gordon, you have put... sorry, let me... okay, that's been accepted, yeah. Sorry, I saw a link, and the way that the link looked, it looked like it was spam, so I do apologise, but...
Yeah, that's why I lost a bit of concentration over F, because I was just trying to look into it.
Yes, brilliant. Right, so Gordon? Yeah, Gordon Broker has just posted a link, and it's just a picture of the inside of the bus. I can't show you on this stream because my chat is on another computer over there.
There we go.
Have a little look at the link. Oh, okay. You can. Sorry, I forget you can. So this is the picture that Gordon's just shared with us. So you can see those handrails at the back of the bus.
Just up there, yeah.
Oh, that's a picture of the build, isn't it? Is that a picture of the build, or is that a picture of the... That's a picture of the actual bus.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good you said that, because it just shows how accurate it seems to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got to be honest with you. The only way I can really tell is that those forward-facing seats don't have screws in the back.
Mm.
I mean, now I'm looking at it closer. Yeah, now I'm looking at it closer. I can see that those seats are cloth. But my first thought was that the build, or was that the real deal?
Yeah, I did as well for a minute.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, yeah. So,
okay.
Great. I'm happy with that. So, that should leave us with 2 more parts. We have screws. I can't find the right... Oh, sorry. I've got so much piled on my desk, I can't actually access my screws now. I put them all in the wrong order. How has that happened? DP, right. So we've got DP screws. How many have we got, Horlicks?
Okay, so we should have 5.
And we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will take those out straight away, as I always do. And we'll put those straight into... These look like the same screws we had last week or the week before, because I can see a cream and a red spare screw in there. So we have been using those recently. So that's my screws ready, and that should leave the last part.
Yep, G, which is some tape strips, and there should be six strips.
Okay. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So they're just, that looks to me like an ordinary label that you can buy from any shop, pre-cut for us. So, okay. So are we happy with those parts?
Yep.
So, shall we begin?
Yes.
Okay, this looks
good. Gordon's mentioned it is so accurate. So I think the more we try to sort of research this and possibly even be quite critical, the more that the bus actually shows how accurate it is.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, no, I watched a YouTube video and I don't remember this first step being done. Okay, so take the rear lower deck ceiling panel, 56A, and
Yep.
identify the hole near the back left-hand corner where the handle 56E fits. Then you need to push the handle into the hole from the other side, from the top of the panel, and then fix the handle in place by attaching the clip 56F around the neck of the handle above right. The inset shows the clip in place.
Right. Okay. So what I've been doing while you were explaining, I've just tipped the handle and the clip into a little, my little handy pot. Now, someone did say to me that they can't wait for me to do this handle because they want to know how I handle it. So I suspect some people may have had trouble with this. So
Excuse the pun.
yeah, okay, I didn't think of that. So
Oh,
see
you
how
have?
it goes. We'll try one way, then we'll try the other. I suspect this is going to go the same way as the handle on the cab. So I've just placed that handle in there, and I can see there's a little bit poking out at the top. So we'll try method A, which is just jump straight in and push it on. Oh, hang on. I've got two clips.
Oh, you've got a spare.
I've got a spare.
Maybe that's just in case it pings off and you're trying to put it on.
No, it does say one. There we go, look. So I've just positioned that, and I think that'll work if I... Oh, look, that went straight on.
Hi,
Do you want me
Sol.
to try and, do you want me to try and recreate that?
No, you haven't missed anything, so we're on the first step.
Okay, let me see if I can take this off and do that again, because that was so much easier than I thought. Right, so what I've done is I've placed the clip nearby, and then I'm just moving it round so that the open bit goes down. And then obviously the first time I got it straight in. So just rearrange that until the open bits go onto the handle, and then kind of put my thumb over it, and then with my index fingernail, I've just pushed that in. And that went in really easy. There you go. And obviously I can manipulate the handle to move that clip round. So, oh, did you really? But yeah, that went on really well. I'm really happy with that. I was expecting that to be really difficult. So, there you go.
Brilliant.
Like a stair clip, isn't it?
I think. Yeah. So just, I won't take that off now because I don't know if it's going to wear it out. But just get your clip and just position it so that the open ends are there, and then you can just push it in. But just, I put my thumb over it so that if it does try to spring up, it's going to keep down. But what you're going to do is just push that in like so. And yeah, I guess I have a spare. Do I have a spare part, or will I need another one later on? It just says one. It just says clip, and the picture shows one. So maybe in production, I was very lucky. I got to, because they were actually in like that. So I don't know what an E clip is, but I'd call it a C clip.
Stair clip.
But it was, they were in the
clip would
packet
be
like
popular.
that. So I suspect that there was accidentally two got stuck together, and I just got a little bit lucky. So look, if anybody breaks their clip, first come, first served. If you want that, just cover the postage, and I'll happily send it to you. There you go, YouTube exclusive. So are we all happy with that?
Yeah.
Matthew bought Bismarck and the term. I bought part. Well, I didn't. didn't buy part 3. I've got part 3 ready because I don't know when my subscription copies will come. Right, so Horlicks, tell us what we're doing, please.
Okay, so you need to take 2 of the ceiling lamps, 56B, and then working from above, fit them into the lamp holes on the left-hand side of the ceiling, 56A, and then fix each lamp in place with 2 adhesive strips, 56G. The insert shows the lamps fixed into place.
Okay, so there's my holes. One there, one there. There's 3 holes, but one of them is square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on one. This one doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned until I've done this one. So, and you can see actually there's a little indentation. Can you see where the tabs will go? See if I can create. There we go. So you can see there, just either side, there's a little recess. And I'll pop that into there like that. And then what I'll do is I'll just turn that round, see if there's one way or the other goes. Nah, it doesn't matter which way you put them. Right, so just push that down a little bit and then stick that down. I suspect this is going to go the same way as the wire, in that this is just to keep it down until we get the next bit on. Once the next bit goes on and the next bit on top, that will push that in and we wouldn't even have needed these. But that will just hold it in place until we complete that part. So I hope I've done this right.
Yeah,
that's a little bit lopsided, but
looks good.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now this one exists and this one doesn't. I should have actually test fitted all of these, but it says that we've got this one. The little recess is much wider than the. Let's see if it works better with another one. Yeah, it is actually much bigger than the actual part. So, but it seems to rest quite nicely near the bottom. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a tickly throat today, so you might hear me wheezing a little bit. Oops, that's fallen out.
Not surprised with the weather.
Yeah. So I'm starting to come to the conclusion that Newport's not agreeing with me, because I've never been 100% fit since I've been here. I've not really had any time off, not really been ill, but I've never seemed to be 100%. Or maybe I'm just getting older. Because, you know, when you're young, you're invincible, aren't you?
Yeah.
There you go. Right, I'm happy with that. I've probably been a bit too careful on that one and too neat. That's not going to get shown, is it?
No.
Horlicks has passed his cold on to me. Yes, I'll blame. Oh, Chris, you mean? Oh, I see. Cheryl's got the same. She's got a bad throat. Shame she can still talk. I think someone's sleeping on the sofa tonight, Chris. Okay, so what do you think of that, Horlicks? That's what it's going to look like from the other side.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I like that. I do like that. So, stage 3. Do we have a stage 3?
Let's have a little look at stage 3. Yep, and we've got a 4. Okay, so in the same way, fit the third ceiling lamp, 56B, into the lamp hole on the right-hand side of the ceiling panel. Fix in place with the 2 strips of adhesive tape.
Okay, so we're doing pretty much exactly the same, except instead of working on this side, you see I've rotated this, and now we're working on this side. So just like the corresponding side, the recesses are way too big, but if you line it up with the bottom or the outside, that will be okay. And let's see if I can get these ones on even neater than the last ones, which won't be hard, because I didn't get those exactly that neat, did I? That's not bad, is it? There you go. Do you think that would win a prize for the most neat lamp of the three?
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's a bit better than they. Oh, that was a bit of a mess, isn't it? That's that looks like I've been done in the dark, blindfolded. And that one's, yeah, that's even worse. Look. So there you go. Look, if you think yours are bad, have a look at these. But yeah, so that's what it looks like now. And obviously, this is going to be. I'm going to guess that's going to be right over the middle of the bench seat. So the two people in the middle are going to get a little tiny bit more light than the ones on the outside. So, and I've noticed also I dropped a DP screw. So
yeah, and the
we'll
M just said, why didn't they just say to do all three at the same stage? They're lagging it out.
Because otherwise they would have had a half a page of magazine to fill.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to simplify it. You know, we're not all. There's people on here that struggle. Mind you, some of the instructions have been quite complicated, haven't they?
Mm.
And here they seem to have. I mean, I don't have a problem with oversimplified instructions. I'd rather they were too simple than too complex. So, what's next then?
Okay, so step 4 is to position the ceiling rails 56C and D on the underside of the ceiling panel 56A, and then working from the other side of the ceiling, fix each of the rails in place using 2 DP screws.
Okay. And while you're trying to describe that, I have been changing my screwdriver head because I did not get myself ready, which I should do. Whoops. I tried to get 4 screws out and I've got about 400 out. Right, so sorry, I did that off camera. So I've got the bit J0 and that seems to be a really good fit. I think what I might do in the future is when I use a screw, I might write down the bit that I've used so that I can actually refer to it as reference. Because I'm pretty sure that it will get to a point where I've done a J0 one time and then a J1 the next. So I've picked up anyone, and I suspect it's not. Oh yeah, that one's going. No, that one is actually going in okay. Ah, right. Okay, so I've actually picked up. I've deliberately done what I think is the wrong one, and it does go in. I've put the locating peg in the screw hole. No, it doesn't. It doesn't quite sit in properly, and you can see there's a wiggle. You see that? So that's placing it in the wrong one. So if I place it in what I think is the correct one, there you go. That's gone in, and now you can see there's no wiggle at all. So just double check it. Just this side is going to fit in, no problems. But just pop it in, and then just have a little feel. Don't scrape too hard because if this is painted, you're going to scrape the paint. But just have a wiggle. Yeah, that feels fine. I'm happy with that. So we'll load up my screw. And what I think I'm going to do this time is I'm going to go onto the side that hasn't got the locating peg. And then I'll just put that in, usual procedure, just enough to bite. And then that will give me enough just to give it another double check. So I'm not holding it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. These handrails feel fairly flimsy. They are made of plastic, so you don't really want to be pushing too hard on them. And then you can tell the screw hole is the one with the circle. If you can see that.
Yeah.
And I also suspect that, like on the other issue, well, a couple of issues back with the other rails, I think if you over tighten the screw a bit too much, I reckon it could distort the rail slightly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm just going to give that a double check because they're only in just enough to grab. I can actually push the screw, and I can just see that they are in properly still. So I'll give that a bit of a push. Now, what I'm going to try and do, I'm only going to hold the back of this rail. In fact, actually, I can get my fingers either side of it, but I'm only going to support it. I'm going to let the screw do the work, and then we're going to establish how tight the screw is. As soon as it tightens up, there's more resistance. I'm going to stop. Then I'll go on to the other side. There we go. And then we'll have a feel. There's a little bit of movement on that. So I'm going to give it another half a screw, or maybe even a quarter. I really am scared of over tightening, and you know I've had problems lately screwing into plastic. Oh, that's lovely. There you go. Don't force it in the middle because you can see it's quite weak, but just neither of those are moving. So I'm really happy with that. So onto the other side. There's the locating peg on this side. So we want to put this one lug in first and then gently find, there we go, that's going in there. So I'll do the side without the locating peg first. We're quite lucky this week. We only need 3 hands rather than needing 5 or 6.
6, yeah.
There we go. So that's in. When you screw this side, it is going to try and move this one. So just do it gently and then make sure that's in. You can actually tell when it's in because the locating peg becomes visible there. Can you see it? It looks like a little light there. So that's in enough just to bite. So we can just double check. That fit is quite nice. So then we'll go for tightening this one. We'll just tighten until the resistance increases. There we go. Give him a little check. That's nice. Oh, look at that. I got that one first time. I had a feeling it wasn't going to quite be enough. I could probably tighten those screws a little bit more, but this isn't moving. So I'm not going to bother tightening them more. But like you say, that you could warp them. And in actual fact, I'm trying to find that little defect. I don't know. Is that visible? It's not really visible, is it? This is looking down the bus. If you look, actually, no, that won't be visible. I think the open part of the bus is going to be from here. So I don't know. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're looking for it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Is that the screw?
Would you be bothered by that?
No.
And what are the chances of me getting a better part if
No.
if I ask for a replacement?
And is that? I'm just wondering if that's the screw.
What do you mean?
If you loosen the screw off a tad, it might straighten it.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah, actually, you might be right there. It'll be this one. No, it's not actually changing that.
No.
And it's made that a little bit looser.
Okay.
What I could do is if I put something with a certain bit of weight on it and leave it for a couple of days, I think that might just push that in a bit. I don't want to put too much force on it. I think actually that's a little bit off center there. Don't know if you can see that. Does that bit look off center to
It
you?
does, yeah.
Yeah.
What I'll do is when I get my shop magazine, I will I'll open it up and I'll have a look, and if my magazine is the same, then I'll have to leave it because obviously it'll suggest that it's not actually going to be any better. But if my magazine is the same, then I'll say to them that I'm not happy with that. I don't think it's majorly noticeable. I mean, if you look straight down the rail, that one, and then that
Have
one.
you tried loosening that second one? Not,
I have.
not,
But it's not... Well, the thing is, this one is held in by a locating peg and a screw.
right.
So it's going to go wherever the locate. I think the locating peg is off.
Yeah.
I mean, what I could do is I could just file that bit there. The locating peg will be a little bit looser. We'll see. I'll wait till I get the other magazine and then I'll have a look. So if it's a one-off issue that's wrong, I'll ask them for a replacement and I'll try and fix this one. And if I fix it, brilliant. But that handle's quite nice. This handle, I believe, it's going to be for the destination on the back side of the bus. Let me see if I can find the magazine. There we go. So if you see there's the rear platform. There's the destination. I think the handle is going to sit round about there.
You'll be correct.
Does that make sense to you, Dave? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant. So, what comes after the build then, Horlicks?
Okay. So,
our favourite part.
Yeah, next week. The second section of the lower deck ceiling is supplied. Accessories are attached, and it is joined to the rear part of the ceiling.
Oh.
Adrian, Adrian's just sent me a picture, and I'm going to show this picture. What he's done, it looks like he's got his magazine, his build, and he's put, is that remote control in the middle there? So you can compare the sides. So it appears to be a little bit straighter, but picking on it. Right. Yeah. This one, does that look dead straight to you? It's hard to tell, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Adrian, would you say that yours is just ever so slightly off? It's not quite parallel. So, like I say, I will have a look at my shop magazine. If my shop one is off as well, then I'll look at just modifying this a little bit, because if 2 out of 2 magazines are both out, then the chances are they're all out. But if my magazine is perfect, my shop magazine is perfect, then I'll ring them up and say I've got a defect part. I'm not moaning because I've done really, really well, haven't I? I don't think I've had a single defect. Or nothing that I can't. I've had a couple of bits of paint block, which I've just shoved a file or a knife in and fixed it. But other than that, I've had no problems at all.
And not only that, I mean, when you take it apart, it might sort itself out anyway. I mean, I know sometimes when my experience with the Routemasters, some of the locating pins are still wobbly in the actual locating holes.
Yeah.
There's still movement. So when you unscrew that, it might just ping back to where it should be.
Yeah, and also Sol has, you know me, I try to look at a really technical answer, and then Sol will come up with the simplest answer ever. Was it Sol? Was it you who came up with the idea of when you do the lamp at the front, you've got to hold it in with masking tape? And he came up with the idea of using the little sticker on the bags. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? What he's now actually said is clip off the locating peg, which is like, how simple is that?
Yeah.
So if I clip that locating peg, it'll enable me just to rotate that ever so slightly. It means that I've got to figure it out for myself. Whereas with locating pegs, it puts it in the right position for you. But we'll see. We'll see.
Are you going to do that off camera or on? Just because I'm thinking if other people have that same issue.
I will probably do it on camera next week on stream. I don't know. I might do it on stream, and then I might download that part of the video, edit it, and then put it out as a pre-recorded video so that people can actually. Okay, so it wasn't Sol who said about the sticker, but I can't remember who it was. But someone. Sometimes I can't see the wood for the trees, so. You know how you get so focused on something you don't see the obvious. So anyway, I do apologize. So we've not really I kind of distracted from doing next week. So as you say, the second section of the lower deck ceiling is supplied. Accessories are attached, it's joined to the rear part of the ceiling. So this isn't going to take a lot of speculation, really, is it?
No.
So I think people have been posting pictures. So yeah, I mean, that wasn't a complex build this week, was it?
No, they look really good.
Which, to be honest with you, given last week I thought was an awful lot of effort for the amount that we actually did. You know, getting all those wires right. And it's all prep work, isn't it? If you get it right, you spend that extra time, it's going to make the job a lot easier in the future. So it's a little bit of light relief. Plus, last week's was last month's subscription issues, and this is a new month, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Dave.
Yeah.
How are you? What have you been up to? Would you like to give us an update?
Oh, well, as we speak, Christine is busy putting the rear entrance together as we speak. I'll just show you our hands down there somewhere. I don't know whether you can see.
And there is
the offending items, yeah.
The offending items.
She's doing that right beside me as we speak. She is struggling a little bit, but it's to be expected.
But would it be fun if everything was easy?
No, not at all. Not at all, no. And that's why it is so much fun, I suppose. Yeah. So she's putting that together because obviously I've recently painted it. I'm not 100% happy with the paint. It is plastic. And what I found is that that's the second piece of plastic that I haven't been happy with. It's only the very bottom that I'm not happy with of the paintwork. And I've decided to leave it. I've been given some good advice on one of the sites of spray painting bits and pieces, which I've taken on board. And of course, this is the first time that I've done things like this. I've got a fair idea of what to do, but I've taken it on board. So when I get more parts, hopefully I'll get better as I go along. And especially the outside panels as well. I won't be messing around with them. I'll get them spot on because they've got to be spot on, really, the outside panels. And I think with Christine's build especially, as you can see from this one behind me. I don't know whether it'll go dark because I've got the light in a funny place. But with Christine's build, you can obviously see that, you know, there's lots of colour there, being the sun yellow, the red, and the green, in combinations of different aspects of colours around the windows, etc. Because it's an accurate representation of a chili beer,
I just love that. I absolutely love
Routemasters,
that.
and it takes your eyes off hopefully off the imperfections. I know what's wrong with it.
Well, I would say it's done a good job because I can't see anything wrong with it.
Well, it's got one or two small imperfections, but nothing that I'm not happy with, put it that way.
Right.
And nothing that, if you was to look at it from 2 feet away, you would think, wow, that looks brilliant. You know, if you was to look at it from 2 inches away, then I may be sweating a bit because I'll be thinking, well, you're looking at the quality of my paintwork, but I'm quite happy. I don't think anybody's going to get closer to it other than us, other than like 2 feet away, for instance. So it's going to look nice.
So
And,
if you surrounded that in a nice acrylic display case, all covered up, do you think people would notice it?
no, not at all, not at all.
I,
Especially when
I
you get
think
the
I think that's very similar to in miniature painting. We have an expression called tabletop standard, which is the model looks good from I can't remember the exact distance, but from about 2 feet, the model looks fine.
yeah,
So we are saying that yours will look fine from a certain distance.
yeah,
So that would be
absolutely.
I knowing what tabletop standard means in miniatures, I would say I wouldn't call it tabletop standard because it looks absolutely amazing. I think tabletop standard would insult it.
Well, thank you.
It's so much better.
Thank you for that. It
Um,
means an awful lot.
you mentioned that you've not built this before.
No, I've not built anything like this before. I've not sprayed anything like this before. And I'm very new to part wax. This is the first part wax that we've been done, both me and Christine. And so obviously we're very new to it. We've owned buses, double-decker buses, single-decker buses, the real thing. And we've driven the real thing. We've maintained the real thing. You know, pretty much for a long time, but nothing to this scale. We've bought models, as you can see in my cabinet behind me. You know, we've bought 4-inch long models, you know, that's off the shelf. I've not built any models that's been in kit form. So yeah, it's the first that we've attempted, and to be quite honest, we are thoroughly enjoying it. Thoroughly enjoying it.
But I mean, sorry, go on, Horlicks.
I was going to say, so is this going to be a start of more part works to come, possibly, when it's finished?
Well,
I wanted to do the Bismarck, so I saw the little bits.
Yeah, she wanted to do the Bismarck until she saw the little bits, did Christine. So,
I regret not doing it because of the little bits, but I can only take on so much.
Yeah, well, it's a similar scenario. I mean, we'd like to take on the Land Rover, the Volkswagen Camper, and the Titanic that's just come out in kit form.
Has the Titanic actually out now?
No, it's out in July.
Okay.
It's a 1/200th scale.
Right.
That's made in kit form by Trumpeter, I believe. And you can.
Okay, so it's going to be a plastic model kit, is it?
It's going to be a plastic model kit, yeah. Impressive kit.
The same scale as the Bismarck, then.
Yeah, same scale as the Bismarck, 1/200th, yeah. I don't know whether I'm allowed to say the company that's supplying it, but it's made by Trumpeter Models.
Yeah, we can mention them. Well, at the end of the day, we're advertising for them, aren't we?
And it's supplied by E-Models on the internet. So if you want to go find it.
Oh, is that really expensive one that I saw? It's about 300
Yeah,
quid.
yeah. It's very dear, but yeah, it's very dear. I'd love to do that. I'd love to do the Land Rover, and I'd love to do another bus, but I've got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, Dave Mills says it's about 370 quid. I'm going to do a bit of a naughty. I'm just going to send a message to someone because I want to show something. Your pics. So basically, you've done two really good tie-ins there. One I'll come to in a little bit. The other one is I have been really naughty.
Oh
yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, I pressed something on my keyboard. I have bought something, and I am going to be streaming it. So I'm just loading up the page now, and then I'll do a screen save. I am very, very excited about this, but I have actually paid the money and bought it. I have mentioned it before on stream. Oh, excuse me, I can't believe I just did that.
Has it got wheels?
It has not got wheels. It is. It's a subject matter that I have never done before. I'm a little bit scared because I don't know if I'll be able to do it. But then again, I've said that about quite a few things. So this is what I have bought. The Hermione Lafayette. I'm just waiting for the stream to catch up to make sure I've got the screen save on properly. Oh, hang on. I'm still on you, aren't I? Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're on me now.
Right, there we go. Right, so we've gone mental. Right, so this is what I have bought. This is the Hermione Lafayette 1/89 scale full kit.
Wow.
And I just thought the price was nice. They have got a cheaper boat out there. Let's see if I can just expand that a little bit. There we go. And I shall be giving that a go. I'm buying the figures as well.
Does this come as a full kit or is it a partworks?
It comes as a full kit. I'll show you some of the PDFs that we get with it. But see, the problem I've got is that was not really a problem. I'm at the point now I can't possibly do all of the part works. So one of the criteria I'm using is there a personal connection to me, either close or not so close? And I wanted to do a ship, and this ship was actually involved in the American War of Independence. So there is a link with my family tree. This is, one of the reasons I'm not doing the Bismarck is there's not really a link to me. It's just a Second World War German ship. So if I show you, I'm going to have to just reduce that again because that's too big for me now. Right. So this is the parts list. That'll just take a moment just to load up. And there's a fair few parts. You've got the hull pieces, more hull pieces, little template guides. You got some die cast bits. You got rolls of thread. So if I can't do it, at least I've got some cotton there that I can repair my clothes with. And a nice little collection of etched parts, and there'll be painting to do, gluing, varnishing, bending of planks. The sails, I mean, those sails look lovely. They look aged to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I really don't know how it's going to go. One of the things I like about the instructions is that if you look at stage one, um, at the end of stage one, we're actually going to have quite a bit built.
Oh,
It
yeah.
doesn't look complex. It's just slipping bits in, but you
Yeah.
can see that stage one, we're going to have quite a lot in our hand. And then you've got stage two. Um, so we're making this little platform there at the top. And then stage three, we're doing a little bit, not quite so much to do in stage three, but I can always combine um, two, I can always combine a couple of stages into one video.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of sanding to do there. So there we go. And now stage five, we're up to plank bending. So that's where it's going to get challenging. Dave Milne said plank bending can be difficult. I have got an electric plank bender on its way. And then I'll just pick a couple at random. If we go for 19. So we look like we're going to start getting into the fiddly bits there. So that's where it'll kind of make or break, I think.
Yeah.
But it's starting to get quite colourful there. I mean, that might be about 6 months in, looking at stage 75. And then right at the end, there are just really fiddly little bits at the end. Finishing touches more than anything. I mean, tying knots, that kind of... I haven't
Yeah,
got a clue how to tie knots.
you're gonna get into all the knotting, aren't you? In that.
Yeah. So, I'm either going to... That's what it looks like finished.
It's lovely, isn't it?
And
What do
Peter
you reckon,
Whitlock...
Horlicks?
Sorry.
What do you reckon to it?
Yeah, we're discussing this. It does look really good, but do you know what? I don't want to say I can't do it, but I'm looking at it now. I don't think I could do it.
Well, what I've done is I am working on Horlicks.
Which is obviously unfair for me to say because I've never done it, so I could be ace at it. But I think it just looks really daunting. Like all the, I don't know. I think I'll be too scared to mess it up.
Yeah, but you don't know till you give it a go, do you? I'm currently working on Horlicks to do this one, the Virginia schooner. It looks a nice little boat ship, whatever you want to call it. It's £70. Maybe I should have done this one first. It doesn't look that complex, and I think that by the time you finish this one, you'll probably have enough experience to give the Lafayette a really good go.
Yeah.
But I'm making it my project to persuade Horlicks to do that with me. So I just need an awful lot of peer pressure. So maybe we can get a petition going. So yeah, I'm going to work on him. So yeah, that's me.
Said, yeah, puts me off is all the threading. He's got patience for that. The thing is, that's a good thing. I do have patience, but I don't know. I think it's just fear of messing it up.
Yeah, see, now with me, I mean, I don't think I've got that much patience. And to be fair, I have lost my temper on a live stream before, haven't I?
You have, and privately.
But I think also there's been times when I've shown a great lot of patience. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But Sol says the rigging scares the daylights out of him.
Yeah.
cold. I've heard that. Yeah, tea is. I mean, I remember doing at school. We did like these parchments, and we soaked paper in cups of tea, and that makes it look aged. Um, but I'll Michael John Wick says you'll be okay with that, Penny. I built HMS Victory. Ah, was that the
Oh,
HMS Victory that came with one of the part works? Because that's obviously the same scale as, or roughly the same scale as this one. I remember the Victory being about that long. It was quite a large ship, but
yeah.
I didn't finish it, financial reasons, and I didn't really get up to anything really complicated with it. But you know, you got to push yourself, haven't you? And I think this will either come out really good or it'll just be a complete waste.
Mm.
But you don't know until you try.
I've got some news.
You have got some news. Let's have a look at your news.
Look at this.
Yes, now I saw this and I like what you've done with stickers.
Well, she's put it all together tonight. So as we've been talking, so
One of the things that worried me, if you're going to repaint that, obviously I'm thinking you want the stickers, but I
yeah,
noticed that what you've done is you've just painted round them,
that's
and that actually looks really nice.
well. What I did was I just put tape over the transfers,
Yeah.
and the reason I did that with this bus is that, and I'll do it with my bus. I think I'll just give you that back. Don't want to drop it. Is the fact that they are London transport buses, and primarily a London transport bus is red and should be red. And when these were repainted in the Shillibeer liveries, they were overpainted of the red, obviously, and they were still
Right.
used around London. I'm in a bit of a quandary whether to do that with mine or not. The idea with mine is that mine comes from London originally, and then it was sold off by London Transport and bought by East Yorkshire Motor Services. And then quite recently, it was bought back by London Transport and is in the Heritage Fleet and has been running recently in the Heritage Fleet, in the Heritage routes around London. And they've just sadly pensioned it off and pensioned off the Heritage routes unless there are special occasions. So I was going to do exactly the same as on my model and just put a piece of tape across and just so it adds some London identity, if you wish.
So,
Mm.
do you think that that might not be a bad idea for me to use that concept with my Newport build? Because also looking at the color wheel, green will go with red. So if I leave little elements of red on the green bus, do you think that would work?
Well, that's entirely up to you, but that's just my idea from,
Yeah.
you can use that idea. It's a free
Because
idea. It's not.
I mean, obviously you're copying a bus, aren't you? Whereas
Yeah,
I'm making a concept bus. So the
yeah,
bus that I'm creating does not exist.
no,
So I suppose I could do whatever I want,
yeah, you can,
and
yeah,
so long as it's a realistic scenario.
yeah.
Um, so, so Michael John Wicks has said that the Victory was the one that I was thinking of with the part works. It looks impressive. He used to struggle with his
Oh,
patience, but it calmed him down. So that's a good sign for me then. So I might be able to do this ship to chill out. And Stuart Sullivan's taken my side. Come on, Horlicks, get the schooner.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to work on you slowly but surely. Maybe if well, funny enough, I'm sitting there thinking if I get some money, I'll buy it for you. And as Dave was explaining about his bus, I got an email through Oh, I've been fighting. I've got nothing to say about nothing bad to say about the Agostini and Model Space. I've had a really good relationship with them, but I bought pack one of the R2 and decided not to continue with it. Messaged them to say I'd like to cancel it. Apparently, the message didn't go through. They took my money and then sent me pack two. So I rang them and said, I don't want it. And they said, refuse the package. Once we get it back, you will get a refund. I've been chasing this refund for about 2 months. Excuse me. And I've just got an email just now to say I've had a refund of 35.96. So I obviously, being 2 months chasing it, I don't miss it anymore. I've got used to not having it. So that's approximately half of the cost of the schooner, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's gone very quiet there. So yeah, maybe
No,
I can.
I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a go. But do you know what I mean? You know, yeah, with this discussion, you were offering perhaps to fund it, but I think that'll make it worse because then I feel like if I really mess it up, it's going to be even worse. So I think if I'm going to mess it up, I would have to buy it myself, but I can't do anything
really
at the moment.
disappointed that you're thinking like that, Horlicks, because and I think anyone who's watched your videos will be disappointed because you just do so many little checks and you're so careful. I really can't see you going wrong.
No, but it's different because obviously with these part works, you get your instructions, you're screwing things together or gluing something. You're not
Yeah.
bending planks and I don't know, painting and varnishing
Well,
and all sorts.
I'm not going to do a hard sell on you because if I push too hard, it'll just completely put you off and I'll never get a yes out of you. So I'll put that idea to bed for a bit and then maybe I'll just bring it up next week, just gently, and then leave. And I'll just keep just a gentle persuasion every now and again, and we'll just work you into the idea. Then maybe if you see me start work on the Lafayette, and then you'll go, Penny, you made that look so easy. I need to get that schooner.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. He said, brilliant. Okay, I was actually I want to show you some pictures, but I just want to ask permission first. I've just got permission. So Dave, you were saying that you've never done this modifications before.
No,
I
no.
somebody else who has never done modifications before, and that is Fleetwood J. I don't know if you can see this. So obviously you know that Jason Richard Brogdon, aka Fleetwood J, he has been making this really nice diorama. And am I actually sharing? I don't think I'm sharing the right screen, am I?
I can see it.
Sorry, there we
Oh,
go.
no.
Right. So Jason has been doing the bus stop, and he's now got some line marks on it. And I just think that adds so much to the build. And I've still not got the. There we are. It's coming up now. Sorry, I'm watching the monitor, and I'm about 10 seconds behind. So I absolutely love this. I just think it's added so much to it.
Absolutely
And
brilliant.
this guy claims to have never done anything before, but honestly, you wouldn't know, would you?
Yeah, it's amazing that. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Sol is saying, Horlicks, you built the DeLorean. That means you can build anything.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's true.
And I'm going to. Oh, look at that with the bus on. That just looks perfect.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I love it.
Just so lifelike, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just brilliant. he did actually get a little bit of a disaster. Yeah, he had a disaster with it today. He showed us pictures. I will. I will let him share pictures if he feels he wants to, but I'll give you a bit of a spoiler alert. He he had a bit of a problem with it, and he fixed it, and within a day. Do you remember the picture, Dave? Um,
Yeah, I
he,
do.
he,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, but you wouldn't know he ever fixed it.
No, I couldn't even tell. I could not tell.
In fact, he fixed it and he made it a lot better, didn't he?
Fleetwood, can I show the picture from my phone?
Oh yeah, Fleetwood just say share them if you want.
Yeah. So I'll just change my camera. I'm sorry it's not a very good view, but somehow a hole has appeared and you can see the wood underneath. And then he shares a picture with us later on. He share a picture?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see the other picture, but
Further down.
there we are. And I think that's the fix. There we go. And that's the fix.
Fabulous.
I know I'm losing quality with the phone, but honestly, you can't. That is such a perfect repair, and that's the original damage.
Yeah.
And
look how he's made it worn as well. You know, like runner of
yes,
worn.
I noticed that on the pictures I just showed on the. Let me do a screen share again. Oh, there we go. Right. Some of these close up. There we go. So if you look at the lines, you can see that they're just starting to wear away. You can tell that that's quite fresh paint, but it's not brand new. That wasn't laid down today, was it?
No.
I cannot fault this build one bit. I'm actually at the point where I'm trying to find faults in it, and I can't. And there's Mr. I forget what we're calling him now.
Mr. Hachette.
Mr. Hachette. Yeah. I love it. Absolutely love it. I can look at those pictures all day.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's nice because I think a few weeks ago I suggested doing the white lines, and then I thought, oh, maybe it's a silly idea, but no, no, Jason's done it. I really like it.
I don't think it's a silly. I mean,
No.
and Jason's saying that he's never done it before. Oh, he was trying to put a hole in for the speaker, and the hole sort of jumped. So, but I mean, just as importantly, did you learn something from it? I think it's absolutely fine making mistakes, so long as you learn from it and you improve next time.
Yeah.
So, oh, thought you said Steed. That's right. Yeah, Purdy and Steed.
Oh yeah.
Stephen. So, yeah, no, I'm really impressed with that. So yeah, you are my number one builder as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So, right, is there anything else I need to bring up?
Have you mentioned the group?
Have I mentioned the group? The lovely group that we've got. I have now updated the link in the description below. So if you click on that group, that will now take you to the new Facebook group, which is so busy. It's such a wonderful group. It's got so many wonderful people in. I actually posted some stats last week. We have had, I think the group has been open now for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been well advertised, so 62 members is probably fine. In about a week and a half, we have had 135 posts, 474 comments, and 1068 reactions. Which what that says to me is we are a very encouraging bunch because looking at the comments and the reactions, so people are liking, disliking, laughing, whatever at the posts. And I am really pleased. I don't think we expected quite that much, did we?
No, it's brilliant.
So, and we've got a couple of ideas flying around. I made a poll yesterday, which made me laugh. We are starting. We're now going to be putting the instructions in the group. We're not going to be putting the articles in. Um, I will be honest with you. We are still waiting officially for permission, but I think we'll get permission. But if they say no, we'll have to just take them all down. So what we're doing is we're just copying into PDF files just the instructions, and we figure that that will be okay because you can't do anything with the instructions unless you've actually bought the magazine. So if suddenly someone says, "Oh, I'm having trouble with issue 9," obviously to go through a year's worth of magazines at home is could be quite tricky. So now you can just click in on the file section. So Adrian Langley, I'm supposed to be starting from issue 1 and Adrian Langley starting from issue 55, but I'll never catch up with the amount of work that Adrian's put in. So hats off to Adrian on that
Yeah,
one.
absolutely. Thank you, Adrian.
But what I thought was amusing is I started a poll. I wanted to know what the members thought about having copies of the instructions for magazines that aren't out in the newsagents yet. Um, so obviously, once we get a subscriber copies, we could just go straight ahead and do that. Um, and I tried to make it a little bit amusing. So I'll just try and find the post. But it's here somewhere. Just that the group is so busy, it's difficult to find. So I put the options are yes, I'd like to see issues that are not in the shops yet, and those that don't want them, don't want to see them, aren't forced to view them. And I've put no, I don't think you should upload them until they're out in the shops. And the third option, which I just thought we'll try and put a don't care, is I am mad and I like to hug trees. So we've got 29 people have said yes, 2 people said no, and 1 person likes to hug trees, which incidentally is Christine, I'll tell you about the nickname I've made for her. But 2 people that said no, funnily enough, was myself and Adrian. So I thought that was funny. The people who are scanning them are the ones that don't really want to see the advanced copies. But I make no secret about the fact that I'm not over keen on spoilers. Um, it's something that I brought up in the group, and I said I don't like spoilers. 3 other admins have said no, spoilers are fine. Majority rules, I'm quite happy with that. This is why we've got why I think we've got quite a high number of admins for the group. And we've also got Jason is now a moderator because he's been doing so much work in the file section.
Yeah, brilliant.
Stuart Sullivan, I don't actually know. If you search the actual group name, tell you what, let's do a screen share, shall we? So this is the group as you will see it. So just scrolling up. Right. So the actual group name is Build a Routemaster Model I forget what's called now. Dot dot.
1/12 scale.
Yeah, 1/12 scale. And if you just check the admins, there'll be myself, Dave, Horlicks, and Christine. And you can see the sort of things we've put in there: pictures, files. I did like the last another enough. Obviously, it's Jason, isn't it? All these fantastic, but little mods that we've all worked out ourselves. I've advertised. Am I actually showing me? I keep forgetting to show me, don't I? Yeah, I am showing me. So obviously, I've advertised the YouTube video, this stream, because I'm allowed to. So Mark Hunter there, you see, has just received the first 8 issues. So he's enjoyed himself in the afternoon, taking some nice pictures, bring back some nice memories there. The rear platform, I remember doing those.
Mm.
Someone's selling or buying?
Selling.
Yeah, selling. That's fine. I think Horlicks, you've advertised your. There we go. There's that picture again. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Do you know what? I've got a model there. That's actually the model. That's
That
not the
is the
real
model.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Darren's picture? Darren
That
Kendrew?
is Darren Kendrew. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a personal friend of mine.
Okay. But yeah, see, you know, you're looking at it. You got to look at it to decide: is that is that the model, or um, is that the real thing? Oh, I recognise that.
Yeah.
Some
Looks a lot.
some old
Looks
codger there attempted to make some modifications.
Looks a lot different now.
Yeah. We oh, sorry. Yeah, we just tell him it's good just so that he doesn't get upset. Don't
Yeah.
And I think somewhere along here, there we go, someone else's build. There we are. So yeah, there's Horlicks's video. So yeah, it's yeah, we just basically tried to make a hangout there that people can go to and enjoy themselves.
I think
Stuart
what we've
Sullivan
got.
never hugged a tree, but he was willing to try. Chris Campbelling, in response to your question about am I going to make a Terminator group, I'm very tempted, but I've this Routemasters group is a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. I'm not got a problem with that. You know, I jumped in expecting to have to do some work, but I think the sensible answer is if somebody wants to set up a Terminator group, I will offer help and I will support it. I think that's probably the most sensible option for me. So, but yeah, that's the group. I'm really pleased with the way the group is going. It's steadily growing. I noticed last week we had I think when Horlicks released his Routemaster. Did you advertise the Facebook group in your video, Horlicks?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, not even in the description.
No.
I think well we seem to get a few people joining the group nearly every day. So
Yeah,
maybe
I
it's
will
just
do that on the next one.
yeah. But I mean I think it's just these things take time, don't they? You know, you keep doing it and people build it and they will come. I think it is.
Yeah, I think there'll be a ceiling. There'll be a ceiling of a certain number of people that will join.
Yeah.
There is other groups out there. We've got to mention, I suppose, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know, some other groups have different rules to this group, and you know,
I'm not knocking any group out there. If someone sets a group up, they set their rules. You know, if you don't totally agree with something, you know what you can do. You know, you either join it or you don't. I'm not going to knock any other groups. The group has helped me, and I like to think I've helped the group. But yeah, obviously, yeah. Sorry, carry on, Dave. I'm just totally interrupting.
no, you're all right. You're all right. I just, you know, to be fair, I'm a member of all the groups I can possibly be in, and I really enjoy all the groups that I'm in, and you know, hopefully they get the pleasure of my builds on their groups as well, and you know, the bits of advice and hints and tips that I like to give people, and the likes and the loves and everything that I give people on their builds. And you know, I think it's only right and fair and proper that people pick which group they want to be in, and if they want to be in all three or all six or all nine or you know whatever, or just even just one. It's
Yeah.
entirely up to
I,
them, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure there'll be people out there that don't agree with the group that I'm in and they've joined a different group. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I think, as you say, they have different rules and regulations, which is fine.
Yeah.
And you know, we're not this group wasn't set up to knock anybody or any group or anything. You know, and if we can all get along at the end of the day, I think that's going to be helpful to us all.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm getting out of this group is I'm seeing what other people are doing. So, yeah, for me, it's working. And so long as we've got Jason in the group, I'm happy.
He's a good lad.
He's a really good lad. Well, they all are. Everyone's great. Yeah. So right. Stuart, you put have a look at this site, Penny. Which site is that? But yeah, I say anybody sets any groups up that I'm linked with, like the Terminator, a Lafayette group, anything like that, I will gladly support. Anything. My saying's always been, I mean, I've stolen it from the painting groups, but share the hobby, love. That's what I'm about. Anything I can help with, and it's a two-way thing. I've got things off other people, so poor you, Fleetwood J. Nothing poor you about you, Fleetwood. Now top member. So yeah, the nickname I've got for Christine is that Mrs. 150%.
Mrs. 150%.
Miss Christine doesn't say an awful lot, but when she does say something, it's she's 150% correct.
Yeah, absolutely. She's not here at the moment.
No, she doesn't chirp. She normally lets people get on with it, but when Christine says something, it's worth listening because yeah, she's 150% spot on.
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah. So that's why I call her that.
Yeah, she'll take that on board and with the good grace that it was given, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, I say if 10 different people are all messaging something, and one of the messages, no matter where it is, it says Christine. I'll read that one first because that's one to read.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, it's all good fun, and but yeah, it's I'm going to change the subject a little bit. Might as well go on to Terminator. I've seen a lot of good mods about that Terminator. Is there many people here that do that? Is it worth me talking about the Terminator?
Yeah, why not?
Personally, I'm only up to issue 1, and I'm probably not going to do the mods. Or at least I might wait a little while before I do them. My phone is tinging. So I'm like I'm well, I don't know. I'm mixed emotions. I like to see Adrian, you're working too hard. Adrian's just sent me a message saying I can upload all the way back to issue 21. So yeah, Adrian, you're working too hard. Slow down a bit. Yeah, no, you say he's goofy. But he's got his top teeth in, and we haven't got any other parts of the head. And you know, without bottom teeth, he might look goofy. I don't know. What would you guys do? Would you wait a bit before doing mods, or would you just
If
go
I was
for?
to do it, possibly, yeah, until we've got more of more of the head done, and then you can have a look at it. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily start. It's like, I suppose it's a bit like getting one of the wheels for the Routemasters on its own, and then looking at it going, "Oh, that looks too big," and start shaving it down. Then it might look stupid when it's actually on the bus.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think some of the guys that are doing the mods do really know what they're talking about, which is fine. And you know, if you do know what you're talking about, then yeah, fine. I don't really know so much what I'm doing with these builds. So I'm learning them. Terminator, I know the film, but yeah, it's. But one thing I have learned with Hachette is, I'm not saying all builds are going to be the same, but trust in it. There's how many times building this bus have you gone, I'm really not sure about that, and then so many issues down the line. I mean, the classic example is the big bend we had in the chassis. So many people had problems with that, and
Yeah,
as soon as we put the safety bars on, it's like solid. And
yeah.
then once we get the sides on, it's going to be so. Of course, when I had that gap in the side walls, I've just looked at that and gone, I'm really not going to worry about that because I know it'll get sorted out.
Yeah.
Stuart Sullivan, she came, she spoke, she left.
She did.
So, yeah, Sol says that he would wait to see how things fit together first. Not knocking anyone that wants to do mods. Like I say, I've seen some good ones. Yeah. So I might just wait a bit and I'll see what I think of it. I mean, I haven't built issue 2 yet, but all I'm up to with mine is, if I can find it, is that's it. That's all I've done. In fact, when I did this on the live stream, I tested the eyes. I didn't know we were going to get something with issue 3. Someone was it Michael rang me up today and he says, "Oh, you get a test pack with issue 3." And I said, "Yeah, but I didn't know that at issue 1, did I?" Which is why, and I do like anything electrical. I do like to try and test it as soon as I can. I have been with the bus, so
Yeah, I
and
think
I've
that's
got.
what.
Sorry, go
Sorry,
on, Dave.
sorry. I think that's what we're going to be busy with this weekend. We was going to be busy with it last weekend, and what with one thing and another, we wasn't. And we're going to be busy with Jason's modification on the side light on both our builds, because as you know, the Hachette bus doesn't have the side light underneath the bonnet there area.
Yeah,
So we're gonna. I actually I did have a soldering kit, and I can't find it anywhere. And we was flooded about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe more now, and we we've lost a lot of stuff from the flood, because of course the insurance assessors come and they send a team in and they just chuck everything away that's been in the flood, and they mark it down as on the inventories, and then they give you an estimated price for it, etc., etc. And we think we've lost ever so much stuff when that happened, and so we had to buy another one, and they were so cheap, it was unreal,
yeah.
and it was a reasonable make as well. And so we've been saving up, and we bought one ourselves, a new kit. It's a new soldering kit, and so we're going to do Jason's modification, and it'll come in for some other things as well, no doubt. So I'm quite happy with that.
Sorry, I was just doing something else. I've noticed that um oh, I've lost the chat now. Steve has just posted the link for the the Terminator group, and I can't get at it because I've not got. Sorry, no, you know me. I'm not going to do two things at once. I'm going to go back through the. I'm going to have to load up the stream on this computer, and then actually I could do it on here. Sorry, right? Yeah, new toy I bought, and I'm really pleased with this. I've now prepared some little labels for my term. I'm trying to get the focus in, but so I made some little labels for my screw pot holder. I bought this. 20 quid it cost me, and I absolutely love it. I think you saw this last night, didn't you, Horlicks? Just
Yeah.
type in your text. You can do up to 2 lines, and then you just press a button, and it just, as if by magic, it just comes out.
Ah. We used to have them as kids.
I just typed something random there, but but was that back in the days when you had to turn the dial and they go
That's right. You
click?
turn the dial and click it. Turn the dial and click it.
But we had so much fun with this because I picked this up. It came from Amazon, and I always had my Amazons delivered to some lockers at the bus station. And obviously, you get a group of bus drivers with a new toy. So I'm making silly messages and sticking them on people's foreheads, and then the inspector, he said, "Oh, can you do a sign? We've got one bus that we cannot switch it off. I have no idea what's wrong with it, but if you switch it off, you cannot switch it on for about, you got to leave it for 10 minutes." So he says, "Oh, can you do me a little sticker that says do not turn off?" And I said, "Well, I don't think I can make one big enough for the drivers to notice." And then I made him one, and it says, "I am the boss, do as I tell you." Dave, are you going to put a light in the bonnet light? Stuart Sullivan asks.
In the bonnet light? Underneath the bonnet, no. I'm going to put a light in the side light. Am I going to put a light in the destination indicator that's underneath the cab? No, I'm not going to put one in there. I'm not going to put one in the bonnet to show the engine, because hopefully the cabinet that I'm going to have them in is going to have lights shining in different directions. So that should pick up anything that I need to look at that way. I never thought about a light under the bonnet, but definitely the side light under the bonnet, under the cab. Definitely doing the side light.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the side light. Oh.
What's happened with Penny?
Sorry, I'm being really naughty now because I was just while you were chatting, I was just went onto YouTube and then I clicked on that link, and I'm now in the Terminator group. So I'm now a proud member of that group.
Oh, that's
so I see a few people have beaten me to it. I'm member number 4.
Me and Horlicks thought you was Frozen.
No. Do I do a good Frozen?
Yeah.
Hang on. Is that any good?
Would be, but your lips moved.
Okay, hang on. No, it's not perfect, was it? I tell you what, go back a few months when I was doing Twitch. I did a very good Frozen, didn't I, Horlicks?
Yeah.
But I think that was computer aided Frozen. And then it'd quickly be followed by damn computer. Ah!
Yeah.
Oh, so much hassle with that. But I am going to have a new computer soon, I've decided. As soon as I can afford it. If I could just stop spending money, then that will help. So, yeah. So, as anything else, I know we've started. Do you know, I keep forgetting to look at our viewer numbers. We've got 34 people watching now. That's brilliant, isn't it? You know, we finished the build.
That's great, yeah.
And I think we've lost some people because obviously some people only watch for the build.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw we had, I think it was about 54 watching.
Really,
build.
That's brilliant. That is absolutely amazing. But it just shows the community we've got. I think, you know, some people just come for the chat. But sorry, Gordon, I missed you, but good night. So yeah, and Dave Milner saying, did the bus have a bonnet light? I don't know. Would it have a bonnet light?
No,
Would
I don't
they
think.
Bring their own lights.
I don't think so. Yeah, mechanics would have just shone a light inside. Yeah, hand lamp maybe.
Yeah. Or the fag, you know, because they're smoke
Yeah.
while they're fixing it.
Flick the
I'm
lighter
sure
over
they,
it. Yeah.
yeah. I think actually that's a legitimate trick they used it back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because health and safety wasn't really high on the agenda then, was it?
No.
You know, is there any petrol in the tank? Let's have a little look.
Have a look. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop your cig in it and have a look. No, please don't do that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Dave. Yeah, right. How do you work out scale? There's two ways to do it. One is, I'll see if I can find it. I've got an app on my phone. Right. I'll change the camera. I think I've shown you this app before. Right. This is an app called Hobby Color Converter. It's primarily for paints. So if you've got enamel, right, so you've got Humbrolli enamels there. So if we look at tan gloss number 9, it then tells you equivalent paints in other. So I'll just fix this for you. So you can see it's got other equivalent paints. So if you're following some instructions that says use number 9 Humbrol, but you happen to prefer Vallejo, you can see there that 72042. I think there's usually another number for it, isn't there? But that's the same color. But it's got a couple of little tools on it, if I can find them. So you've got color, you've got scale converts. So if you've got something that full size is 10 meters, and you want to know what that's like in 1 to 12 scale, 10 meters full size is 833.33 millimeters, but you can change it to centimeters or meters. But the other way simply is to just divide it. If you've got 100 meters, you divide that by 100, and then multiply it by 12. That will give you. Obviously, I've chosen a really simple number there, but 100 meters full size, divide by 100, and then multiply it by 12. That gives you 12 meters at 1 to 12 scale. It works a little bit different with images. No, it works the same with images. So if we take this, that's about 18, roughly about 18 centimeters across. So we work the calculation backwards. 18 centimeters divided by 12, multiply that by 100. So that's 150. That doesn't sound right, does it? 18 centimeters divided by 12 times 100. 150 centimeters. Does that sound right?
I don't know what
That's
150
a meter and a half,
centimeters is.
isn't it?
Metre and a half. No, that's not right.
No.
Because the bus would be, well, the full width of the bus would be 8 feet in width.
Oh, no, hang on, no. So it's going to be 8 feet, is it?
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll multiply that by 12 to give us inches. Divide that by 100, times it by 12, is 12 inches. So that's too much now, isn't it?
That's too much, yeah. There is an app called Model Scaler, which I use.
Right. I'll tell you what, let's use the app I've got. Right, so 1 to 12 to 1 to 1. So what did I say? This is about 18 centimeters. 18 centimeters. So that's about 2.16 meters. Does that now sound about right?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah. So whatever I've done, it hasn't worked, has it? So stick with that app then. So this, yeah. So what was the name of your one?
Model
Scale.
scaler.
Model scale.
Model scaler.
Right. Do you know if that's available for iPhone?
Yeah, it's on I.
Model scale calculator.
It could be that or model scaler. I think it.
Oh, model
it's called
scaler. There we go. It's
Yeah.
done by Woodland Scenics.
I think
Do
so.
those
Yeah.
screenshots look about right to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Or I'll download that. I'll have a little look at it. Can I just disappear for a moment and leave you two chatting?
Yeah, of course you can.
I
Yeah.
just don't need to visit the little ladies' room.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will see you shortly.
So, tell us about these lights.
Oh yeah, I think I had them on the table on my computer desk, and I remember I was tidying up this evening, and I remembered about them, and I thought, oh, I know, I'll stick them on the bookshelf because it's so much better, isn't it? Like,
And you put them you've put them like under the shelf, haven't you?
yeah,
Shining down onto the model.
yeah, and they're really easy to fit on. They've just got these little metal clips, tiny little weeny screws, which are really easy to get in.
Yeah.
Screw them up, and then you literally, like this one, they just clip in.
Oh, right.
And
Didn't
then,
realise there was like that. I thought there was like little bulbs, but yeah, they're in strips, aren't they?
yeah, and you can do all sorts with them. Like, they're really, these are from IKEA, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So at risk of breaking it all, here we go. So you can unplug them
And get
and
new.
then
Oh, right.
plug them together.
Wow.
And do what you want with them. They're just sticks, and then in the box you get all sorts of wires and connectors. So they're very versatile. You can do what you want with them.
Yeah, what a brilliant idea. You see, I might pinch that idea for my cabinet idea. So
are you near an IKEA? Because these ones are from IKEA, and obviously they are absolutely fantastic. To be honest, I've had these years, and they've never failed.
Yeah. No, well, we're about 55, 60 mile away from a main IKEA.
Right.
So
Maybe I do it online.
Yeah, maybe. But I think they'll be well worth getting them.
Yeah, they're really good, and you can route the wires, and then you've got this little control. Plug that back in. You've got these control module.
Control module, yeah.
And then it's got like a spinny wheel on it.
Yeah.
Is that a technical term, a spinny wheel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can obviously spin that, and you just choose your color. You can go through the lighting softly, or you can push this button, and it just does hard changes.
Yeah.
And that's it really. Or you can turn it on and off.
I think it's brilliant.
But I've had this, years. Originally, I got them. It was back at I think it was in my a couple of houses ago. I had the flat screen TV on the wall. And then they brought out these new TVs that had all this sort of lighting that came out the back of them. And I thought, oh, I know, I'll buy this kit. Because originally these started life with me behind a TV.
Yeah.
And it lit behind the back wall behind it. Then obviously I've just been moving it around.
Yeah, brilliant.
So yeah. So I've got, obviously at the top, I've got two put together.
Oh, yeah.
But if I was to ever get another shelf in here, as I say, I can separate them, and then I can put another one in. So you get four lights with the
four in the kit. Yeah. What a brilliant idea.
They're
So I
really
thought,
nice,
yeah, I'll
aren't
stick
they?
them in.
I've just been having a look at this model scaler, and this is absolutely brilliant. Um, Obviously, I've never used it before, but it's taken me about a minute to figure it all out. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to show you this because this is brilliant. Put in your measurement, put in the scale of measurement. You've got quite a lot of options there, like millimeters, centimeters, inch, feet, yards, meters. This is the actual full size. Then you choose the scale that you want to convert it to, and you
Yeah.
see you've got a list there of the common ones. If that's not enough, you just select um, custom, and I've typed in 1 to 12. So how big did you say that how wide did you say the bus was,
The bus
Dave?
is 8 feet wide.
8 feet. So if we change that to 8 feet, and then obviously we've got our output, we can choose millimeters, centimeters, inch, feet, yards. So if I do it millimeters, so the result there is 203 millimeters to
Yeah.
make 8 foot into 1 to 12 scale.
Yeah.
So does that
Yeah.
sound about right?
Yeah.
203 millimeters.
That's the exact thing that I'm using on my scratch built model,
Right.
which I still haven't shown you. But my scratch built model is done, as it says, from scratch built, from bits of wood and leftovers, and
Yeah.
that's how I'm downscaling from the real thing. I've got an
Yeah.
idea of how long the bodywork is and how wide a window is and things like that. And so then I convert that measurement, feet and inches or centimeters, into 112 scale.
Yeah.
And then I know then to make that in 112 scale
Yeah.
and in whatever millimeters or centimeters it is long.
Well,
So
Adrian's just sent me a picture. He's measured his bit of bus, and it's come out 187 millimeters, which by the time you put the sides on, I think that's going to be about 200. I think 203 sounds about right, doesn't it?
yeah, it
By
does.
by the
Yeah,
time you put the sides on, it's
yeah,
probably going to add about that much either side.
yes, yeah,
No, I think yeah. So it's going to be about that wide. By the time
yeah.
you've got a couple of skins in, yeah, I think that's absolutely spot on. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to recommend that. I've just lost it now. Where has it put the? Oh, there we are. So it's called whoop,
It's called model
model. Well, it's now
scaler.
called Model Scaler on
Mm,
here,
yeah,
and it's by Woodland Scenics, and they looks like they do some other products as well. So if you've got a Android phone, I got that from Play Store, and I
yeah.
just put in. Remind us exactly what it's called again.
Model
Oh, there we go.
scaler.
Model Scaler by Woodland Scenics.
Yeah,
It looks quite basic, but it does. You don't need to tart it up if it doesn't need it, does it?
no, and
And it's got
enough on there to scale it either feet and inches or centimeters, millimeters.
yeah. That's what I quite liked about it. I mean, I like to work in millimeters, but if someone says to you, I mean, you just said it's 8 feet wide,
Yeah,
so I don't know off the top of my head what 8 feet is in millimeters. So I've got no choice. I'll put feet in, but look, you see, I can convert that into millimeters.
yeah,
If you're a feet and inches person, you can convert that into inches.
of course you can. Yeah,
So, um, but you see there, look, I've not got the options that I want. So I've clicked more option,
yeah.
and then I've clicked custom, and I've just put in 12.
You can make whatever scale you want. If you want 1 to 200 scale, you can do that.
So let's do 1 to 157 scale. So that's 0.61 in 1 inches. This is why I like millimeters. 15. So there you go. 8 feet to 1 to 157 scale Is that 15 mm? Why you'd want that scale, I don't know. Well, it depends what scale they've given you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So, you know, how long is the bus? In the real bus?
27.5 feet.
So you want to know how much space to give it on the shelf. We'll call that 28 feet. Feet. Scale, more options, custom, 12. And you're measuring in meters. So you need, in fact, let's measure that in centimeters. So you need to allow 71.12 centimeters on your shelf to fit that in.
That's the bare minimum, yeah.
Yeah,
You won't
well,
get
I
your
put
hands in
28
them.
feet. Yeah. So, yeah. And if anyone's interested, Liverpool has beaten Bayern Munich 3-1.
So I've while you were talking about that, I've put the link up for the lights on IKEA. It's the first set for 20. It's £20. And it looks like they've changed the design slightly. It hasn't got this. Well, it's got some sort of box, but not quite like this one. But
yeah,
it's the same thing. It goes through 7 different colours, and they've also got different shapes and sizes now. They've got round ones as well. If you didn't want the strip, I think the strips would be better for more light dispersion, but they do little round ones as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was just going to say, Dave Milne asked if they were Alexa compatible. They're not. Well, the ones I've got on, I don't think they are the new ones. I suppose they would be if you had a plug that you know, like because I think the Amazon have got those smart plugs that you plug them into.
Yeah.
It might work for Alexa through one of those, but they're not specifically designed for that. So yeah. And one other thing I wanted to point out, Sol has asked me, did I get R2 to work last week? Well, we did have this conversation at the beginning. If you're watching Sol, I'm going to switch him on at the bottom and push the bottom button here, and then he's going to sort himself out. Yeah, it's all working fine. He'll probably chirp in a minute. But yeah, it was funny because, well, at the time it wasn't.
It wasn't at the time, no. It wasn't.
I had him. I literally had. There you go. I literally had him in bits after the stream because I can't let anything go. If something doesn't work, I have to strip it apart there and then. All I'd done last week, I flicked this on, and I was pushing this button here, going, "It's not working. It's not working. It's the wrong button. I need to push the bottom one." For some reason, I thought the top one was power, and that's why it wasn't working. So I stripped him apart. Had batteries out, multimeter out, I had wires hanging out, and then I realised, oh, I've just been pushing the wrong button. So yeah, that's all it was. There was nothing wrong with them.
Is anybody else having problems with Facebook?
Facebook?
Yeah, on one computer it's telling me Facebook is down, and then on the other one it's working fine.
Yeah, earlier I thought it was political, the reason Facebook was down, but I think it's mechanical. I think they're doing maintenance.
Yeah, mine seems to be working this evening. Okay, but
I do sometimes have problems. I mean, one of the weirdest problems I've got. Both of my PCs are hooked up via the same Wi-Fi router. Sometimes my this main one there in front of me, that works absolutely fine, and then this other one, it won't pick it up. It'll connect, but you don't get an internet connection. And I don't know
I think I get that here. Yeah. Carl, we get that here. Even my phone will do that. and it'll come up with a little exclamation mark, or I'll be doing something and this computer will suddenly come up with a yellow exclamation mark, but all the others will be fine, and I have to restart the computer and it fixes itself. It's just weird, isn't it? I think it's something to do with Windows.
Yeah. I've got some news for you, Horlicks.
Right.
I've just committed to buying a microphone.
Oh, really? Oh, she accept?
Yeah, she accepted the offer.
Oh,
I did nothing major. This woman wanted $29.99 for the same mic that that Horlicks has got, but she wanted so much postage. So I just it said make it. I'm sorry. When eBay says buy now or make an offer, I just look at that and go challenge accepted. So I will always make an offer. And what I did is quite often the offer I'll make is to reduce the price so that the price and the postage is the same price as the original item. So she wanted $29.99 plus postage, and now I've got the price down to £30 including postage. So
that's really good.
Yeah, that was 30 quid. I mean, brand new, they're like 70, 90 quid or something like that.
Yeah, they're about £70. And my one, as I said, I was looking for one after my tragic filming experience the other day. I just wanted one, and obviously I'm on a very tight budget. I don't earn a lot of money, so I was like, right, let's have a look. So I hit up Facebook, and I saw this one, and it was about an hour's drive from me. And originally he wanted, I think it was 35, and I said, look, can you post it? And he said he can, but he hasn't got PayPal. And he said, do me a bank transfer, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that because obviously, you know, I don't know him, and he could have taken it. And
haven't you?
Yeah, with PayPal you got protection.
If you sent me payment and I didn't send you the goods, you can put a dispute in.
Yeah. So
well, it now looks like next week I'll be able to wear earrings on stream because I can do earrings because the headphones trap.
But so no, so I got it, and he messaged me and said, look, 20 quid, come collect it. I was like, well, do you know what? It's worth it. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I hope it's clear enough. Well, I don't know what everyone else thinks of it. Is it clearer than normal, or do you think it's about the same, just without the earmuffs on?
I think it's brilliant.
I still can't get over me talking and having my speakers on, because I can hear you all.
We were testing it out last night, and obviously Horlicks had his headphones on, but he was talking in the mic. So he just had ordinary headphones on. And I said, just try it without the headphones and put your speakers on. We'll see if I can hear me through his mic. And I'm like, you know, I'm going, yeah, I've done it. And he's gone, really? He goes, it's booming out. And he had it turned up quite hard. Well, he said he had it turned.
I turned it up full volume.
Yeah, so that'd be really handy, because then I'll be able to have the sound coming through the TV, which is nice. But also when I do like my R2 videos and stuff, it's funny. Someone's mentioned it before. I always have my headphones on. The reason I always have my headphones on is because of the mic. But one of the problems I have is if I catch the mic, see, now I probably don't sound so good where the mic is moving. So at least by having a microphone, well, I'll try and put it about there, just above, so you can't see it on screen. And then I'll be able to talk, but I'll experiment with it. I'll see what setup works. But I'm buying another one of these as well, designed for the microphone. So obviously you see this, but I use this for my overhead shots, and then the camera in front of me for the facial views. So
for me, we had this discussion, didn't we? Mine actually came with the boom. Yeah. However,
that is what I want. What you've got there.
Yeah, but I think. Oh. I think for me, I might have preferred the proper stand because then it could go in front of me. But this still will be helpful, but it didn't come with the proper stand.
Yeah,
So,
I know I mean, mine comes with a stand, and I know I'm not going to use it because I try and get everything off the desk, so that the only thing on the desk is building stuff. So, but yeah, no, we'll see how it goes. But I mean, looking at yours, it looks like you've got better sound quality than I've got at the moment. So again, going back to what I said at the beginning of the stream, if you want to do any videos, go with what you've got, and then as your budget dictates, build it up from there.
yeah,
But I can't believe that I've got a decent microphone for 30 quid and then a stand for 19 quid. That's, to me,
yeah, it's
that's a
good.
bargain. Some
I
people
mean,
spend hundreds on microphones.
oh yeah, definitely. And this is entry level professional stuff. I think that's what I read. I did a lot of reviews on it and everyone was saying how good they were. So
Well, I mean, if you spend 2, 3, 400 quid on a microphone, you are going to get that better quality. But
yeah,
of doing videos on building part works, do we really need a £400 mic?
no, that's it. I mean,
Uh,
my next thing is I do want to get a better camera still because even though this one is an improvement, it's just not great. I
Yeah.
struggle. The autofocus doesn't work as it should, and I just want
Yeah.
clear
I
shots.
wonder if my focus isn't working that well because of the computer. But once I get my computer sorted out, my new computer, I'll be able to use OBS, which is what I use for Twitch, and
Yeah,
I can broadcast it directly to YouTube. I don't know if I'll be able to do this 30 going live in 30 minutes thing, but it means that I'll have a lot more control.
yeah,
I don't know how I'm going to bring guests in quite yet. We might have to go over to Skype, but it means that I can have picture in picture, flick over to, instead of doing all of this click, click to do screen shares and stuff like that, I can literally press one button and go, and it's on.
mm,
Um, so that's what I used to do with Twitch. I've got a camera looking at me. I've got a camera looking down on my work. I've got another. I used to have another camera on my spray booth. So, and then what I would do is when I'm doing work, and the camera's facing down in the corner about there, you'd have a picture with my face on, and then I could click a button and the screen would then change. So I'd go, right, let's do a bit of spraying. So I could just flick a button and there we are in the spray booth. And then
mm.
I can just change things. I can do screenshots, and it's a lot easier to control. It's just bringing in extra people. I don't haven't think, but we might have to do that with Skype. But we'll find a way.
Yeah, that's it. But I mean, back to your comment. I mean, the autofocus isn't definitely isn't your computer because I've got over
Definitely
a
isn't.
thousand
Or
pounds. It isn't. No, I've got over £1,000 worth of computer sitting under here, all hand built by me, and
right.
it's all got the pretty latest stuff in it, and it's the actual camera doing it. It's not the software.
So I might want to be looking at getting a better camera for my actual showing the model. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
cameras like this camera here, I
it's
can then switch
perfect
that
for your
over
face.
to see me
Yeah,
view, and then maybe move that other one to the spray booth.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm planning on doing. This 1080p one is brilliant for these sort of shots, but not
Yeah.
for really building on. They were right.
And
We
that
managed,
would
don't we? And we have to keep messing around with the zoom settings when you're trying to show things. But
yeah.
so
Well, that would work
if
well
anyone
for
here
Google
in the chat,
Hangouts.
uh,
Well, that would work well for Google Hangouts because I've got 3 cameras, but 2 of the cameras are exactly the same make and model. And I can't use the 2 of them with Google Hangouts because they've got the same name. It doesn't know which one. So I
right,
have to actually disconnect one. But the camera, funnily enough, the camera that you're seeing me now, that's a lesser camera than I use for the overhead. but it seems to be slightly better quality. But I have a bigger view. But if
Mm.
I got a different third camera, a really good one, then it'll have 3 names, 3 cameras, 3 names.
So yeah, as I was saying, if anyone here in the chat has got any recommendations to a camera that they might think's pretty good, far away. I mean, I haven't really looked into it yet. You know, I don't want us to be spending hundreds, but just I don't know. I think maybe. I mean, I've heard the only way forward is sort of like a DSLR sort of camera, but
I see. I've got one of those. There's a piece that's really, really good actually. If anyone's ever considered doing this, if you use OBS, you can't stream using a DSLR, but there's a piece of software called I've got it and I can't remember what it's called. If anybody knows the name of it before I can find it, I think it's called Soft something. It begins with S. I'm sure of it. Or maybe it doesn't. SparkoCam, that's it. There's a piece of software called SparkoCam. It's not free, but you can use it in demo mode. And what it does is you can connect your DSLR up to your computer and you can actually stream with the DSLR. So you get that improved quality. The only drawback is because you're running a DSLR and OBS and SparkoCam, you're now running extra software. So if your computer isn't top notch, it's going to really drain the memory on it. But it is really, really good. And another bit that I got as well, I can't find my camera at the moment. I've actually got a fake power supply. So actually it's a battery replacer. You take the battery out and then you've got like a power supply, but the plug at the end is actually like same shape battery. So you can run your camera directly off the mains.
yeah,
There's nothing worse than doing a stream with a DSLR and suddenly the battery runs out. So again, once I get a better computer, I'll be able to run SparkoCam, and I will have DSLR quality video. And the camera that I use is I don't think it's a best camera around anymore, but it was one of the best cameras for budget, basic to intermediate. 64 mega RAM. Right, I remember that, Love Minis, because we were debating memory, weren't we, Horlicks?
yeah. That's what I've got in mine, 64.
Right.
I've got 232s.
Right. Okay. So I was, because just a bit of background, I'm looking at buying a computer, but what I'm looking at doing is once I'm going to get like a desktop, a custom built that I can just upgrade the parts. It's so much easier to upgrade if it's custom built. And what I'm going to do is once I've got a good enough spec, I'm then going to say, right, well, my next upgrade is this. We're going to look at the upgrade and then I'm going to save up for it and then I'm going to upgrade it. And then we'll go, right, the next upgrade I need is this. But obviously I have no desktop at all at the moment. So I'm going to buy so many bits before I've even got a functional computer. So we're just going to look at a basic computer that I can upgrade. And we were like, and what I was doing when we were pricing it up, you know, like with hard drives, I'm making prices up, but let's say you get a 500 gigabyte hard drive and it's 50 quid. And then 750 might be a 5 or more. So you go, I might as well go a 5 or more. And you often find that an upgrade, the next one up isn't that much more. And then all of a sudden you get to the point where the next upgrade is a lot of money. So what I was doing was looking at the best that I can get before it starts to do the big price jump. So whereas Horlicks was saying 32, was it 32 mega memory you said would do?
32 gig, yeah.
32
well,
gig.
it depends on what you're doing, doesn't it? Yeah.
But Whereas Horlicks was saying 32 will do, I was then looking at 64. If he says you want 1 terabyte hard drive, I was then looking at 2. Because then by doing that, the way I see it anyway, if you look at the minimum spec you want, if you go a little bit higher, hopefully the computer will last longer before you need to start upgrading. But yeah, I can't remember what I've got. I can't remember if I've got a Canon or a Nikon. I think I've got a Nikon, whatever it's called. But it's a good little camera. It's got Wi-Fi and all sorts, and I can set the camera up, and then I can hook it up to my tablet and go take picture. But I just don't use it enough. I need to use it more, and I need to start taking the autofocus off. So. But I've done some good pictures on it before. But actually, I might have one on my tablet.
I'm not sure if I'm looking up the right thing, but I've just typed in the Canon 70D and they're coming up nearly £1,000.
What, for a camera?
Yeah. Oh, one of them 600, 550. That's way too much that I can afford.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to find this picture I took.
Yeah, Amazon's nearly £1,000.
Oh my God, some of the pictures I've taken on here. Oh, you'll love this one. I'm going to show you. This is brilliant. Well, I like it anyway. When I had a motorbike, I needed to balance my carburetors, and there's no way I was paying the price to buy a carb balancer, so I made my own.
Oh,
And
wow.
all it is 2 bottles filled with brake fluid. You've got a tube that goes in between them, and that tube goes all the way to the bottom. And then you connect these tubes to your carburetor. And if there's more pressure on this side, it'll push the brake fluid into that bottle. And if there's more pressure on this side, it'll push it into that bottle.
Wow.
That cost me about £2. I think I had to buy those cables. They're actually windscreen wiper pipes. I think the whole setup cost me about £4. So, but I think a carb balancer will cost you about a few £100.
Yeah, easy.
Oh, look at this one. This is a bus crash I had.
Oh dear.
Basically, I was at a junction in the middle lane. The guy in the right-hand lane, I was going straight. The guy in the right-hand lane, a chauffeur I will add, turned left in front of me, caught my side, which in turn pulled all of. I mean, there's actually no damage there. It's just panels have come off.
Yeah.
He just took the whole lot off, and he had a massive, great big dark blue line across the side of his car. And I said, "What the hell were you doing?" He says, "I was on my way to the car wash for my next job." I said, "You're going to need more than a car wash for that." So I really enjoyed working for Arriva. But yeah, I was on the X60 route. That used to go to Milton Keynes. Sorry, lots of pictures of cat. Oh, there's my old bike. That was a £250 project. It was a bit of a wreck, but right. Sorry, I can't remember what I'm looking for anymore. Right. So yeah, when I got this new camera, I went out to a churchyard and I just took loads of pictures. And you might laugh, but this I thought was the most amazing picture I'd ever taken. I can't get it into focus, but the way that there we go.
Oh, leaves. Leaves.
It's just a leaf with some raindrops on it.
Raindrops, yeah.
And that one I like best because of all the different colours.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was funny. You look for subjects to take pictures of, and it just turns out the best one was just some leaf scatter.
Yeah. Looks great.
But that was taken on. I don't know why I took that, but Most of these were taken on autofocus, but I just bought the camera and I was just testing it out, and I was really impressed with it. So, but yeah, so Dave, me and you are going to have to get together, and you're going to have to teach me photography. But yeah, I just thought they just sort of blew me away. I don't know if they'd win any competitions or get even close, but I just really like them. But isn't that what photography is about? If you like the picture, it is therefore a good picture.
Yeah.
And it's so natural, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd ever get a shot like that again. But yeah, someone was telling me that photography is all about catching that picture that you'll never see again. But yeah, another purchase I want is a macro lens so I can take close-ups. James, you just posted a link for you. I think it is Horlicks. He's just
the camera. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my internet's gone down on this one because it's really slow. Oh,
Yeah.
I found it.
Does look nice. Yeah. Again, a bit out of budget. I know I'm not, to get something better, I'm going to spend the money. I know that.
I sort of touched on Patreon last week. I think we should set a Patreon page up just to buy Horlicks what he wants. In fact, we should set up a Patreon page. Not doing a hard sell here, but we should set up a Patreon page to fund the schooner for Horlicks.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be too much pressure.
No, I don't think it would be any pressure at all, Horlicks.
Because then I'd have to get it right because everyone is invested in it.
You wouldn't. No, because if you did a video on a ship build that you've never done a ship before and you got it wrong, but you know where you went wrong, people can follow that video and go, all right, well, I see where he's gone wrong, but actually I've got the confidence to give it a go. Didn't we talk before stream saying that the number of posts people have made about, well, I wasn't collecting this build, but I've been seeing the pictures in Facebook, I've been watching the YouTube videos, and that's inspired me to have a go.
Yeah.
Well, a bit like me. That's why I'm late
I was
starting
just
the
about to
Routemasters.
say, correct me if I'm wrong, Horlicks, but why did you start the Routemaster?
Because it looked really good. I was watching you build it.
So if you make a video on building the schooner, or whatever it's however you pronounce it, you might inspire people. Your channel is brilliant because you make all the mistakes.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll continue the pressure next week.
Yeah.
But Dave, Dave, I'm going to pose the question to you. Before you did your first scratch built model, did you honestly think you could do it?
No.
So why did you have a go then if you didn't think you could do it?
Well, I wanted to do it, and I still want to do it. It's only like, well, let's say a third build, I suppose. So I've still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it simply because I can't afford the real thing of the bus that I'm doing. And I'll never, ever be able to afford it or own it. It was a bus that my dad owned, and he did an awful lot with it, including making a television series with it. And I have seen models like it in cabinets in museums, and always thought, oh, I wish I could do that. I really wish I could do that. And it was only the fact that I was messing around with a bit of wood one day, and I thought, yeah, I'll have a go, see what I can do.
Yeah. So yeah, you didn't know you'd do it until you actually did it.
No,
And
no,
now that you've started scratch building, which I think scratch building is the hardest thing you can do,
yeah,
um,
absolutely.
would you do it again?
If the opportunity arose, yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
I mean,
In fact,
it's obviously going to require a lot more research. When I do a model aircraft or a model boat or something, I can look online at photos and I know the colours, but
yeah,
to actually figure out the angle of of a piece of a hull or the
yeah,
wing of an aeroplane, which I don't know. I don't think I could do that.
yeah. Well,
Um,
I've actually got ideas of another scratch build that I want to do, and it's given me the inspiration to do it. I suppose both building the Routemasters and building my scratch build
yeah,
is that I really want to do it, but not just yet. I've got enough projects on the go for the moment.
yeah. I've got way too much. I've just gone and taken another one on.
Mm.
So is it fair to say then that if you want to have a go at scratch building, try something simple and smaller, learn
Yeah,
the skills, and then build it up from there?
yeah, I think so. I think
Or
that's very
or,
good
or
advice.
put another way, instead of buying this Lafayette thingy, whatever it is, the Hermione, what I probably should have done was bought two schooners and sent one to Horlicks.
Possibly, yeah.
No, no hard sell or anything. No,
Oh
we'll,
God.
we'll get you doing a ship one day, just maybe not soon. But no, I mean, I said to Horlicks in a private conversation. Well, I said private, not meaning you can't. But I said, look, if I bought him that, I don't think it's that expensive. And I would buy if I bought it, I would buy it for him on condition that he did his best, and if he can't do it, then he can't. There's always something that someone can't do.
Mm,
And it might be that he hasn't got an enthusiasm for that model. It might be that he doesn't have that set of skills. I personally think he'll manage it, but there are limitations for everyone, isn't there?
mm.
I mean, it might. Yeah, it might turn out all right, but I don't know anything about plank bending and.
Can I let you into a secret, Horlicks?
Well, I know what you're going to say.
I haven't got a clue about plank building either, and I've got a ship on the way, an electric plank builder, and I have not got a clue.
No.
But then I didn't have a clue about building partworks before I bought the Routemasters, and I didn't the painting that I've attempted, and I got Love Minis to thank for that.
Right, well, okay. I've got a few little minor issues with the car, so I need to get them sorted out next month. So, in the summer, I will buy it, and then we'll have a go.
Yes,
Look at that.
So, Dave, did I just see a little doggy on your screen there?
It's our big doggy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Willow.
Willow. There you go. Dave is telling. So, yeah, Dave, you've now committed yourself. So, Dave Milne, you've just now committed yourself to lending support to Horlicks.
So, yeah, I've got a few minor things I need to sort out with the car. Minor but expensive.
Yeah, no, so, I appreciate that you can only take on so much at a time.
But then saying that, DeLorean, when's the DeLorean finish? Next month? Month after?
Really?
So
I'm hearing a lot of people saying that it's got to the point now where people just can't wait for it to finish.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah. I mean, I like the stage you're up to now because that looks completely different. But
I mean, to be honest, it looks pretty much done now anyway. So I would, if they suddenly went bust or anything, not that they would, I wouldn't be unhappy with that. Just sat there like that.
Yeah. I suppose if you put it at the right angle as well, you can hide bits that you don't want seen.
Mm.
Steve Graham said it's finishing in May, which is just in time for my birthday. And I'm on holiday in May as well. Not dropping any hints or anything.
What date in May?
I don't know, somewhere between the 12th and the 14th, something like that.
All right.
Oh, actually, I think my birthday might be on Routemasters Day this year.
Do you think? When is your birthday, Horlicks?
Oh, no, it's not. You know, somewhere between the 5th and the 7th.
5th and 7th of what?
June.
June. 5th and the 7th. So, oh, you're the day after.
Yeah.
Mine is on R2D2 day. So, right. So, I'm going to start winding the stream up now. What have we got ahead of us? Myself and Horlicks are working on our as yet unnamed show, but probably something along the lines of the 3D printing show, 3D printing project show.
Yeah, we're nearly there.
We've now got our tubes, which I've been labeling them up for Horlicks look to send them. So yeah, we've got our tubes. We've got one tube missing because Banggood are not my favourite people at the moment. Postman, that basically this is how they package brass tubes up in a bag like this. So I got 2 empty bags. Well, I got an empty bag, and I'm missing one brass tube. It's somewhere between here and China, fallen out. And I put a claim into Banggood, and the first thing they said was, can you confirm if the package has been opened? And I went, well, yeah, of course it's been opened. I opened it when I received it. And then thereafter, official documentation about the weight and stuff like that. And this has been going on for ages. And I've spent hundreds of pounds with them. And I'm putting a claim in for a £4 tube. So what's the time? 10:30. So I just basically tell them to fuck off. I can't be bothered with them anymore. If you're making me jump through these hoops for £4, I just can't be bothered with you anymore. I'm going to start using AliExpress. And they sent a message back saying, we are sorry. We understand you've now received it. And I'm like, no, I haven't received it. Just fuck off. So
yeah,
I might not be using, but I'm still waiting for the bearings to come through. And they say 15 to 20 working days.
Good.
And I ordered them on the 17th of February. So I've got 4 days left before I can make a claim. I don't know if they've been lost or if they're on the way. I'm scared to make a claim for them because they'll probably just make me go through more hoops. But if it just hasn't turned up, it hasn't turned up. But I had a damaged item before, and they asked for photos, and that actually went through quite speedily. In fact, the replacement came through quicker than the original item. And
I suppose you should have said it was open, because it was open, wasn't it? Because there was a hole in it.
Well, it burst out the side. You put a metal brass tube in a plastic bag and push the edges. I know there is. I think the hole was actually at the top there, but some of these bags, that one over, but most of them have arrived poking through the bag. But you can't put brass. I mean, but they pretty much use. See, this is why I opened it. I've received small Arduino parts about this big in a bag this size. So when you first pick it up, you think it's an empty bag. It's not till you open it up and then you see a tiny bit this big that's dropped into the corner. So it's a bit disappointing. I've had a bit of a problem with them, but so Sol saying it's on a slow boat, maybe a schooner. I see what you did there, Sol.
Oh, I see. Dave Milne said that it was the same about plank bending, and he never bought one and just used hot water.
Yeah, steam. Yeah.
So how do you get the shape? Do you get? I assume in the kit you get some sort of mold thing, do you? Or
Well, I reckon you've got a 3D printer. I reckon we could find something in 3D print world somewhere. Yeah, Dave, you're right. There should be in boxes. I think to be realistic, I probably will use Banggood, but unfortunately, Banggood are a lot quicker than AliExpress. I think what will probably end up happening is I will order from Banggood, but I now know what to order and what stuff to not order. My little helping hand, it's quite a big item and it's arrived broken. Well, it didn't arrive broken, it had bits missing. Bearings and things, I mean, there we go. That's how you receive bearings. They come in a little container.
oh, did you get them?
No, this is some other bearings I bought
Ah,
for another project, but you see they're in their own little case there, so they're quite safe. But when you're dealing with a rod, you see how
yeah.
long that is, and this 2 mil rod, that's potential. If you threw that at someone, that's like throwing a javelin, isn't it? So
I got my bearings though, but they're I'm still missing one set,
you are still missing one, are you?
one size, so I don't know when they're going to be
Maybe
here.
they've been dispatched separately then.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, but I don't know where they are.
Somewhere, probably on a schooner somewhere between here and China.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I'm learning what to order and what not to order. But the brass rods, there's one of those rods is I did do a comparison. One of those rods was just under £2, like £1.90, and the same rod from as Albion Alloys, which is UK. Well, buy them in the UK. It's £4.50. So, you know, it's over twice the price, and with the amount of rods that we're having to buy for the, we have mentioned the project, haven't we?
Yeah.
Is it, how much did all these come to? Is it 16 quid?
No, it was £12 something.
£12. So
Yeah, that's
if you
what I
apply the
repaid.
same logic, it's going to buy these from Albion Alloys. It's going to be about 30 quid. So,
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah,
yeah.
because I was looking at UK sources originally, and it was coming up at about £30.
So Dave Milnersan is using oval-shaped ice cream tubs and lids and clamps to get close to. Dave, you are so similar to me. Where I grew up with very little money and we had to make stuff rather than buy it, and I've just got used to making stuff all the time. And I'll go into a shop, Poundland or something, and I'll see something and I'll go, yeah, what can I make out of that? I haven't got any to hand, but for the for the orrery, we need a power supply, don't we, Horlicks?
Yes.
So my suggestion was,
Yeah, pound shop, wasn't it?
Pound Shop. Go into Pound Shop, get yourself a phone charger, and cut that end off, and then solder the wires onto the motor. Now you got yourself a 5 volt. Is it 5 volt power supply?
Yeah.
Rather than going out and buying connections and things like that, Poundland. As simple as that. If you need small wires, go to Poundland, get a phone charger, cut both ends off, pull the wires out. Now you got yourself thin wire. If you are throwing, I think I've shown you this, electrical cable, I bought mine from Wilco, and you buy it by the meter. And if you want individual cable, just cut the protection bit off, and now you've got 3 cables in there. So
It's funny you say that because I do that a lot. If ever I have to take any electrical appliances to the tip, I cut the flex off it.
Yeah.
Because the plugs are useful. And it's funny, I haven't mentioned to you yet, but I was actually sorting. Don't ask me why this was at work, but I needed a plug for something at work, and I found this USB cable in my drawer at work with the end already cut off. So that will be my orrery wire, and it's really long.
Yeah. Now that I'm starting to play with more electronics, I'm now at the point where, like, if someone, I don't know, he threw the toaster away, then I'm just going to cut that flex off, aren't I? And I'm going to keep that.
Yeah.
So because I'm at the beginning stage of electronics, I'm having to buy lots of stuff, but over the next few months or years, I'll end up with a little box of tricks. God, I'm turning into my friend. I had this friend. He's such a typical bloke. He's got a shed full of stuff that he's keeping because it will come in handy one day. And I've got to admit that annoys the crap out of me. It really does, because he's got all of this useless stuff. And I actually, when I got a flat years and years ago, it had a worktop about this wide. And the previous occupant, or the one before that, probably some typical student or something, had been chopping stuff on the worktop without a chopping board, and it had just been completely cut through to the chipboard, to the chipping underneath. And I said, "There's no way I'm using that." And of course, my friend went, "Do you know what? I've got a bit of worktop in my shed about that big, which I was keeping because it'll come in handy one day." And 24 hours later, I had a brand new worktop, just that big. It was not. He'd bought a worktop, or someone had bought a worktop, and they'd cut it down to size, and they had an offcut of about that big, and it turned out to be about 3 centimeters bigger than I needed. So I can't say to him anymore, just get rid of it. But yeah, and that's what I'm going to end up with electronics now, isn't it? I'll keep that. It'll come in handy one day.
Mm. Oh, I'm glad. So Izzy Harris has just joined us.
Hello, Izzy. How are you?
And I was going to mention this actually. I didn't see you. Just a personal thank you for the comment you left on my video. That was really nice to hear.
Oh, I remember you saying about that.
Yeah, to me, it's just, I just do what I do, and it's just, I just enjoy partworks, and I just enjoy what I do. But for you to think that, that's amazing. So thank you.
Do you want to elaborate on that, Horlicks?
Oh, so yeah, so sorry.
No, it's all right. We know Izzy left a nice comment.
We don't. Yeah, you don't know what comment it was. No. I need to find it now. I can't remember.
It's so nice to get the support, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to get a little thank you is nice.
So Izzy said, "I'd like to take my hat off to you. Thank you for going the extra mile with your build. I, for one, appreciate it. Your commitment to the fellow builders does not go unnoticed. Once again, a big thank you."
Yeah, it's amazing. But you are brilliant. We keep telling you you're brilliant, Horlicks, and I don't know if you believe us.
No, I just do what I do, and
yeah,
everyone's different. Everyone's got different qualities, and different levels of abilities. And I think everyone who does like these YouTube videos and partworks, they've all got something different to offer. Yeah. Like Dave says, model now with all that paintwork, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I really don't think I could do that genuinely. So it's just nice to see that part of it. And then you've got Jason with his amazing, diorama, and it's just, everyone's got different skills, and it's just nice to see.
I was just going to say to Dave actually about Jason. Dave's saying that he's asking about scale sizes because he's thinking about making a diorama, wants to make paving flags out of thick cardboard. So he wants to make paving slabs out of thick cardboard.
What Jason does?
No, Dave Milne does.
Dave Milne does, yeah. So
I
try
know.
model scaler then.
Yeah, Yeah,
scale.
did you get the thing about model scaler? It's a little app on the phone. Paving flags. I really think best person to speak to would be Jason if he's got the
Jason,
time to
yeah,
help.
yeah,
But it'd be really nice if that can be shared on Facebook so other people can learn. And then, like, say, if I found out how to do it at a basic level, I
yeah,
might copy it and then I'll go, oh, this is what I've done. And then Dave Mail might go, ah, yeah, I never thought of that. Right, I'll try that. And then Dave will do something and I'll go, oh, nice one, Dave.
yeah,
Love Minis is saying best way to keep your extra parts in check is to find a box that will fit on the shelves. Then when box is full, you stop keeping that item. That's actually a really good point.
yeah,
I don't really know, as you can tell, I don't really know when to stop. Um, so I might actually have to have a bit of a clear out and actually go, right, that's going in the bin. I've not used that for a certain length of time. Uh,
Mm.
my my interests, I'm going to probably phrase this wrong, but my interests change slightly. I mean, these I've been painting these, trying to been painting these up for 2 or 3 years now. Um, and I think it might actually be time to just chuck them in a box, stick them on eBay, and say, look, I really I'm not going through with them anymore. Can someone make something out of them? And if I get a fiver for them, brilliant. If I get a million quid for them, better. Um, yeah, no, but Dave, yeah, um, got to be honest with you. I mean, you can buy paving slabs in scale, and they'll look really good. But I think if you actually made it yourself, then I think so much better. In fact, actually, that reminds me of a comment that I received on one of my YouTube videos, which I thought was absolutely amazing. If you bear with me, I'll try and find it. I think it was from Sol, actually. I think it was from Sol. Um, bear with me. I know it was my latest R2 I got it on. I've reached the point where I am doing something or another. Right, yeah, that's it. I mentioned the logic lights, which is the lights that go there, and they'll light up and randomly flash. And R2D2's gone to bed. It was a bit of a pain in the ass last night. This has got, I don't know if I mentioned it. This has got a feature where you can watch a Star Wars film and it will interact with the film. It will react at certain bits. And I left it running last night watching Rogue One, and I went to bed. And I just sitting there, I was listening to R2 going, oh, whatever. It really was reacting correctly. Yeah, so excuse me, I'm doing these logic lights and I can go out and buy these logic lights, not a problem. Just chuck the money and I'll get them, and I know they'll work really well. What I'm actually trying to do is I'm making my own LED lights. I'm making a little short basic program on the Arduino that does random blinks, and I'll put them in, and it should all work. It'll be quite messy, be quite basic, but also one of the things that I've said is that if I make it and I successfully make it, I can look back and go, I made that, as opposed to saying I bought the bits for that and put it together. But it was actually Paul who made the comment, P40F20, and he's put, making as much as possible yourself will not only give you a greater sense of satisfaction, but also give you a greater confidence to sort out any problems or setbacks that you will encounter, especially with the electronics. Best luck. And I said, yeah, it's a really good point. It's not really one I'd thought of. If it's built 100% by me, then if it goes wrong, I will know in my mind exactly. I can picture it in my mind where all the setup is. I can look at it and go, yeah, I know what that wire's for. I know what that bit's for. And of course, yeah, obviously I've got the greater satisfaction as well. So when Dave is saying that he's going to make the paving slabs out of cardboard, I think that's probably a better way to go, even if you've got the money to buy the parts.
Yeah.
You know, we've said a lot. We're not in a rush for this, are we? We've got over a year left to build it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So yeah, it's yeah, really, really having fun with this. I think a lot of people are having fun, and it's not just pick your screwdriver up for 10 minutes every Wednesday.
No.
So, do we have anything else? I forgot to mention Steve Hyson says Horlicks is brilliant. I think we all think that, don't we?
Yeah.
See, we love Horlicks.
We do.
See, now can you see why I've picked Dave Say, Horlicks, and Jason
Well,
to
I
be
prefer
on my
drinking
show?
chocolate.
I think everyone's brilliant.
What was that, Mrs. 150%?
I said I prefer drinking chocolate.
Oh, okay. Then what, to Dave or to Horlicks?
Horlicks.
Oh, yeah, I get you there.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? She doesn't say an awful lot, but when she does, it's worth listening to.
It's 150%, yeah.
Yeah. See? And you know what they say about chocolate, don't you? A glass and a half in every half pound.
Yeah.
I know it's a bit silly, really, the nickname, but it just stuck, and I like it.
Yeah.
But no, I think everyone's brilliant. Everyone here, and
Everyone brought their own little bit to it. As
yeah,
Everybody's brought a bit to the table.
Yeah. And then we can all pick up from everybody else.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I think, Dave, you say you don't have the money. I think if you're spending that much money on this, I'll tell you, I should change subject a little bit. When I first started building this bus, obviously I get all excited on a Wednesday. I go running to news agents and I get my magazine. A lot of the drivers at work were taking the mickey, and they were like, "Oh, you're building your bus now, are you?" And and they were like, "Oh, how much is that going to cost?" And one of the things that I often drill through is, "All right, I'm spending £9 a week on this, but I'm getting something out of it." And I still maintain I get a lot more than most of you, because I get this show as well.
Yeah.
And that's worth £9 to me. But now that we're 50 odd issues in, people are seeing what I've produced, and they're all now starting to go, "Oh, actually, yeah, that's I can see what you're getting out of it."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Caldecott. I saw. I saw one the other day. Colin, your new best friend, Caldecott Bus Spotters is. He does YouTube videos and he makes posts on. Remind me what the group name is. Is it just called Newport Bus? But he loves our buses, and I don't know why. But we've got a lovely new bus, 440. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's absolutely beautiful to drive, except it's got this right mirror, and the position of the mirror, it really creates a massive blind spot. And in addition, the mirror is magnified a little bit. So you look in it, and if you haven't got used to it, it looks like the cars behind you are like really, really close. And it's but you're always having to do this to look round the mirror. And there's times when I'm looking ahead at the road and I'm checking, and then the mirror is viewing the road behind, and it actually makes the road ahead look like it's clear, and it's not. So it's one of those things you have to get used to it. But you guys probably know, if you jump, say for example, you jump in from a car into a van, the
Yeah.
window positions are different, and it really
Yeah.
stops you off. But it's a really nice bus. Rumor has it, I might get in trouble for saying this. Newport Transport, yeah. No, and it's all been nicely painted up. Basically, what had happened, if I get in trouble for this, I'm just going to go for it. I don't think I'm bringing the company into disrepute. We had a breakdown many months ago, and the bus had to be recovered by a recovery company. Nothing unusual there. That happens to bus companies all the time. I won't mention the recovery company, but what he'd done is he'd hitched the bus on the back of his tow trucky thing, whatever, which of course lifted the bus up, didn't it? This tow truck driver then took this bus under a low bridge,
Oh,
took the roof off the bus. The rumor has it that this particular recovery driver doesn't work for that recovery company anymore.
oh,
But obviously, this company was responsible for the damage to the bus. So they got a bus for us to borrow. Well, a new one came through. Rumor has it that that bus that we had to borrow, which was gold when we got it, which we were using on school buses, has now been registered with a new fleet number, and that fleet number is 440. That
ah,
is what I've heard. So
ah,
this lovely bus that I was driving today with this awful right wing mirror was the bus. Well, it was the replacement for the bus that got taken under the bridge. So
ah.
um, I don't think that brings us into disrepute, but yeah, I haven't mentioned the recovery company just in case. But we still use them. They're still a good company. Apparently, they're really good with us, and we supply them with business. But yeah, it's I mean, obviously, it's a funny story at the time, but it made me laugh because one of the spotters had actually put a picture of that bus on the group. Now, the Facebook group Newport Transport, it's designed for enthusiasts of buses around Newport, hence the name Newport Transport. But people seem to think it's some kind of company affiliated Facebook group. So they use that to complain. And none of our company officials are watching it. And all of the enthusiasts just get fed up of it. And you know full well with any large company, they will automatically, you deal with 1 million customers. Some of them are going to be unhappy. That's just the way the numbers go. Um, does it drive nice? I heard the Enviro 400 and really bad brakes. I got to be honest with you, Caldecott. I'm not as enthusiastic about buses as a lot of people. So I am literally a bus as a bus, but I like most of our Enviro buses. So I can't tell you this bus does this and that bus does that. Um, Sorry if I upset anyone by saying this, but I go into work to do the job because it beats the hell out of doing manual labour. I get paid quite well for it. I enjoy my job. I love driving buses, but I don't have a love affair with individual buses. I'm sorry if that upsets anyone. But yeah, anyway, so I forgot what I was saying then. Must have been a lie then. Can't remember what I was saying now. But oh yeah. So this group, someone's posted a picture of bus 440 on it, and they said, "Oh, new bus for Newport, blah blah blah." And it's funny because we've had it for ages, but someone then made a comment about, oh, yeah, Newport should be buying brand new buses. And it's like, well, you can only buy what's within your budget. But it's like, how old's your car, Horlicks?
No, I don't know. Oh, it's 2003, so about 16, 17 years old, is it?
So you've got a 17-year-old car, for sake of this discussion. If you had an accident, it wasn't your fault, your car was totaled.
Mm-hmm.
Right, your insurance company or someone's insurance company will replace it. will you get a 17-year-old car or the value of a 17-year-old car, or will you get a brand spanking new car?
The value of one 17 years old.
Right. So why should the bus companies be any different? If you smash up a 16-year-old bus, you're going to get a 16-year-old bus back, aren't you?
Mm.
So that's why Newport hasn't invested that bus being a brand new one, because it's a replacement for a bus that was off the road. Simple. I've just thought of something that I really don't have time now, but I really did want to mention it. I saw a very sad picture on Facebook, Dave, say during the week. I believe it was an anniversary of a very sad event. You have mentioned it before, but I believe it was the anniversary of a very sad event.
Of man. Yeah.
Charity bus being caught on fire.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's happened in March of 2009.
Yeah.
So obviously 10 years ago. I was a charity director of a transport charity, and we had 5 minibuses at one time, and that dwindled down to 3. And 2 of them were lottery given minibuses, well, lottery money given minibuses, and in 2000. And this particular bus was specially made at a coach builder's in Rochdale to our specification. Only had 16 seats, but was very adaptable to people, wheelchair users. And
did it have like those removable or movable seats?
It had movable seats, removable seats on rails, right from front to back. It had single seats down one side and double seats down the other side. So we could take out either the double seats or the single seats and replace them with someone in a wheelchair. And this particular bus was coming back from a job with a driver who had been with us for quite some time, and it got to within 4 miles of the base where we stored the buses, and it suddenly, without warning, started belching smoke from underneath the bonnet and into the passenger saloon. The driver stopped the bus. There was nobody else on board the bus because it had dropped its passengers off at an isolated rural village. And it stopped the bus and went to try and investigate where this smoke was belching out from, and got greeted with some flames. And so straight away rang the fire brigade, got out the bus and made it as safe as he possibly could, and made sure that no other traffic was around him. Luckily, he was on an isolated rural road at the time, so there was only 1 or 2 cars that were going by. It was 5 miles away from the nearest fire station, and within, I think it was 8 minutes, within 8 minutes, the fire brigade arrived and started putting out this bus, but by which time, of course, it was well in flames.
Took hold of it.
It absolutely totaled the bus. The bus itself was £65,000 to buy new.
Wow.
It was 9 years old, and it basically meant that through the insurance we would only get what it was worth, and it wasn't worth an awful lot, obviously, at 9 years old.
Yeah.
So it then put in jeopardy what we was to do with the rest of the charity and the charity vehicles. We had 300 members to see to in isolated rural villages. We had only a small handful of volunteers and a fully paid driver. And so after 20 years, we came to the decision that we had to we had no choice but to close the charity down and move everything onto another local charity that was obviously a little bit bigger than us, and they had more advantage to us because there was in a town.
Yeah.
So they had more advantage of volunteers and storage facilities and garage facilities, etc., etc. So after 20 years, we decided to close the charity down, and it was really heartbreaking.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, all just gone up in smoke. And
Did they ever find out what the cause of it was?
yeah, it was just simply an electrical fault. That's all they could put it down to, was an electrical fault, and it's not normal, or wasn't normal, for that type of minibus to actually suddenly burst into flames. But I think you're seeing a lot more of it in more modern vehicles now, with the more modern technology that they have on board. They obviously carry an awful lot more electrical equipment.
Yeah.
It's actually, I always see when I'm out and about, what sticks out for me is Mercedes. I've seen a lot of them in smoke, and especially even new, as you say, brand new cars. I mean, last year I was coming back from somewhere on the motorway, and I don't even think it was a year old, and it was it was black.
Yeah,
So as you say, there's some electrics in them now.
It's incredible. I mean, this bus was packed with electrics. It did have an awful lot of electrics, because obviously we spec'd it to be quite high, because we bought a pair of them that were coach built, that were built to our specification, and we tried packing them with everything that we needed, for at least, well, 10, 12, 15 years perhaps, to try and get a decent amount of time out of a minibus. And it wasn't to be. So we did everything correctly. We sold everything via the charity commissioners. They, deemed what was necessary to close the charity down. And we moved all our members onto the next nearest community transport scheme, and they took on our members, and we finally closed down the charity in November, I think it was, 2009, and after 20 years.
But at least the good work is continuing, just with somebody else.
Yeah, not quite the same as what we did, but yes, it's still continuing, and still continuing to this day too.
Well, I'm really proud to say that I had a bit of a taste of that kind of work. We operate. I can't remember what it stands for, but we operate a DRT bus, which is it's a very similar thing. It's not a charity, but it's just a little mini bus, pre-booked routes to areas where we don't operate a service bus. And
Yeah,
I did a couple of days work with it, and it reminded me of how important a bus route really is.
yeah,
We've got a couple of little areas where one area there's only one bus a day, but the area that I did, it's like a caravan park, the permanent caravans. And
yeah,
it's quite a few people that they want to go to work, or they want to nip to the shops or whatever. But a vacancy's actually come up on that rota, and I've gone for it, and fingers crossed I'll get it. It's a lot of hours each week, but it's stable hours,
yeah,
so I'll actually be finishing at 7 o'clock every night, which guarantees my Routemaster on a Wednesday.
yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, it's just remembering, because I've done the community transport before, and I had a couple of little regular customers, and I got so much out of it, because you realise,
Yeah,
um, we all just jump on a bus and go to wherever we want to go to, and the bus is just there. Outside my house, there's 4 different bus routes. One runs every half an hour, and there's two other bus routes that run like every 10 minutes. So I'll go to the bus stop and I wait no more than 5-10 minutes for a bus.
Yeah.
And if I'm waiting 15 minutes for a bus, which I have done before, I start whinging. Oh,
Yeah.
it's this bus. But there's some people, they don't have a bus route at all, do they?
No, well, we don't. Where we are down here, there's no bus route. There's never been a bus route,
Yeah.
apart from the ones we organised. Obviously, the ironic part about this story, about these minibuses, is the fact that we actually organised through a scheme called Midas, Minibus Drivers Awareness Scheme.
Yes, I've done their course.
Yeah, well, we actually was Midas DAT trainers, and we ran fire emergency evacuation courses.
Yeah.
For other community transport schemes in the area. And the most ironic part about this is that it was that particular bus we used to use on demonstrations for fire evacuations.
Right.
And we used to have a smoke machine, and we used to train people how to get out of this minibus if it was on fire, etc., with a dry ice smoke machine and all that sort of thing. And it was all classroom based, and there'd be 2 days perhaps through the driver course and through the fire evacuation and the minibus drivers awareness scheme course. There'd be 2 days. But they'd be fully nationally certificated at the end of it, with good credentials. And it was that particular minibus that was used for the scenarios of a minibus being on fire. They'd fill the minibus with 16 passengers, and then passengers would have various disabilities, they'd perhaps be blind, or they'd have a leg missing, or something that would make them difficult to remove if there was an emergency on the minibus. And obviously it was packed with volunteers and volunteer drivers and paid attendants and things like that. And obviously they had to take on board these scenarios of getting out of a minibus that was on fire.
Yeah.
And that was that minibus was used right throughout the East Riding of Yorkshire on many, many occasions. And it was that particular minibus that burst into flames. So that's the ironic part about it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So on that sad note, I am going to finish the stream. Do you know what? We actually could have finished this stream about 9:30, couldn't we?
Because, yeah.
Nearly 3.5 hours. This has got to be a record worse.
It's got to be a record.
Yeah. Right. So I'm going to let everybody say their goodbyes, and then I will see you next week. I won't have a shop magazine because I've made my confession about opening magazines, so I'm going to use my second open magazine next week. So that's it from me. Who would like to say goodbye first?
So I'll say bye. Bye. No, thanks for being here as always, and see you all next week.
And it's a bye from me, and thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week. And I'll personally be back on issue 60, will it be now?
It'll be 60. Oh, that's a bit of a landmark, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big landmark.
Then we've got 64. Then the time after that, we'll officially be into the second half of the build.
We will, yeah. Okay.
So everyone's saying how great show. So couldn't have done a great show without you two.
Thank you.
So I will end now, and I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.